What?
And we need
We need
to look for clues at the Ivory Fox.
Oh yeah.
I've always... I was thinking.
You might have written something down.
I haven't.
Near the
Much better.
Academy.
That doesn't set the course for the night.
Yes,
Alright.
it does.
Cool
Nope, doesn't.
How was
No,
Alex?
Low or high?
How is Alex's night gonna go? Right in the middle. But he has
Average?
It's gonna go random probability. That's how my night's gonna
He
go.
has
'cause that's how
advantage
guys
though.
work.
He has advantage though because he's Trin. And he's
Screw
immoral.
you and your trim.
Exactly the same.
Screw you and your string theory.
Alright. So, yeah.
What? Legendary action. What am I supposed to get?
So I guess we pick up with you guys passing through the city gates and into the very busy streets of Konewald. You guys rented the horses you had, right? So it's time to
Right.
take them back.
Return them.
Yeah,
I have
time to
a
return
general.
Thank you.
I wonder if we meant to rent them for a week.
No, you did. You guys did. You
Okay.
rented them longer than you
Specifically.
thought you were going to need, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, specifically a week, actually.
Yeah.
7 days.
But we gotta
sort
get
of
it turned in
lore
before
question.
like 2 p.m. or else there's a late fee.
Yeah.
100% true.
What are the size comparisons between Konewald and Mindrathis?
Oh, way bigger population.
Konewald's way bigger.
Just like landmass completely,
Yeah.
just
Way
huge.
bigger. It has
Okay.
way more people living in the walls than Mindrathis does.
I figured the population would be a lot bigger.
Yeah, Konewald's huge. So they have like 4 walls around it.
Yeah, well, Mindrathis is prettier. Okay.
Yeah, that's probably true.
It's all a lie.
Depending on what kind of architecture you like. That's fair.
Now, when you say 4 walls, are you saying like there's a wall on every side, or are you saying there's like
Yeah, they're in
layers
there.
of walls? and
There's layers of
districts?
walls because they've had to expand it to encompass more people living
Yeah,
in
so
it.
like
Yeah.
when you say 4, you mean like outwards,
Yeah.
growth.
Mhm.
Okay, I got
Yeah.
you.
Exactly.
There you go, Alex asking the hard questions. So
The
you
hard
know
questions. Yeah, that's true.
It's like there's 4 walls.
I'd rather you not.
Is there a ceiling? I put a roof over your head. My house, my rules. 4 walls and a roof. Don't mind me.
We
Or
don't.
mind
That's
me.
interesting.
Mind me.
I'm minding.
I will have
Mind
to.
You better
look
mind,
for
son.
Something. Oh, it's weird.
Silly robot.
Reminded
I
me.
must have removed the music from the playlist.
Oh,
It's interesting.
no.
Okay.
Banned.
Yeah, I guess so.
Banned from the playlist. Hashtag copyright infringement.
Pardon that yawn.
Pardon? Your pardon, sir.
Well, thank you, Zach.
You're welcome. Thank you for begging my pardon.
Richter,
I
Alex
did.
over there. Making
Yeah,
judgments.
you're welcome.
Pardons.
No. I've done that to people a couple times.
I'm
They're
not
like,
allowed to
pardon
ask
me.
you
I'm
once,
like,
so-
you are pardoned. And they're like, I didn't
Can't
ask
change
for
it.
permission. I'm like, actually, you did.
Yeah, that's true. You did.
And then they get mad. And they're like, trying to get wise with me, sonny?
Sounds like your dad.
No. That sounds very abusive.
You just know.
No, Dad.
My dad would never call me son.
You gotta earn that title.
My parents love me.
Yeah, they
Yeah, they do.
It makes you feel better. My
Same.
dad doesn't call me son either.
Aw, that's good.
It makes me feel a little better.
Yeah, a little better. Depending on how you identify.
I hope your dad calls you whatever you want to be called.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
He yawned, everybody. You didn't see it, but he did. Just the word yawn makes me want to
I
yawn.
don't think you tattled.
Ow. I'm gonna tell. Andrew slapped me.
I didn't slap you. I didn't make contact.
Yeah, you did.
I
Yeah,
heard
nope.
it.
Nope. Yeah, that was me hitting myself.
Nope.
Nope. That's also not. I
Mike
hit
is
the air.
also an established liar.
Kobold used the
So-
soundboard.
I've discredited the witness.
After returning the horses and like basically right on time and paying your getting your your down payment in return, basically, yeah, getting your down payment returned to you, you're kind of left just standing outside the stables in the city street. There's a few vendors and stuff nearby selling like some apples and shit, but nothing super crazy. Town's busy though, and as it normally is.
Should we check into a tavern?
Isn't Butter at the tavern? Or didn't we? No, I'm crazy.
It's right there.
Aye.
Yeah, I was.
You've been really quiet this time. I'm sorry.
Bugbears are
I've been-
exceptionally stealthy.
Yes. And he points at Ulthion. I've been flying. Magic, remember? And he just points to himself.
No. Now I do. Thank you.
Mhm.
Well, to a tavern then, I guess.
Yeah, I was gonna stay here at least a day or two. See if we can track down the cult.
They're cool.
You have to whisper it like Trin did.
That was me whispering.
That's
Yeah,
right.
well,
Bigger
Are we
lungs, I
whispering?
think.
if one of them was just walking by, unless it's a different cult. I don't know. How many cults do you think would be in a town like this? I guess that's a question for the Inquisition. Getting carried away from myself.
I think the Inquisition would like to answer none. They might be a little biased.
I'd have to imagine in a city this size there'd be dozens.
Well, what we do is we make them answer under oath, because I assume there's.
I think it's important to remember that not all cults are bad. There are certain cults to certain deities that are fine, harmless.
Just the
The
word.
cult of Seine is one.
I like that he didn't say good. He said harmless.
Well, I mean, a cult in and of itself tends to, the word tends to breed a certain secretive air.
It does have a negative connotation, I think.
I just thought cults were
Okay.
bad.
No, there are plenty of cults.
They're bad.
The
Technically,
Seldarine have more than 100 different cults.
wouldn't your tribe count as one?
It would be,
I don't know.
theoretically, it would be
I don't know
a
what the
cult-
word means.
A cult of prom.
Well, I don't
No,
think.
no.
I think they're not.
It's all in the
segregated.
word. Lawmasters are a cult of
The law?
Volatrari.
Sure.
What does the word even mean?
What do you need it to mean?
Well, like, I just thought it was like a group of bad people worshiping somebody.
Right. That tends to be the connotation, but it's not necessary.
I don't even know what connotation means.
For instance, the Dragon Reasonableists. Cult is not in
Connotation
their
would
name.
be how you feel about a word, regardless of what its technical definition is.
So what it means?
What do you think it is?
What? How you feel about what it means?
You ever looked at a color and felt calm? Or maybe you see red and get angry.
No, red is gone.
Okay. And you see red and feel calm. Some people see it and feel incensed. It's a connotation somewhere in your mind to the
Inc-
color.
Incense.
All right,
is
depending on
angry.
all cults are bad and words are being used that are far too big for me to understand.
So nothing new.
But yeah, so we
The
go.
problem was you were trying to describe what it meant with bigger words, and that just hurt.
Alright,
Right.
where are we going? Should we go to the Inquisition or to
Find
the...
a room first. I don't think we need to walk in carrying all of this gear.
Yeah.
Should we
got
check with the
stuff.
Ivory Fox before we go to the Inquisition?
The Ivory Fox was a tavern, right? Is it an inn as well? Perhaps we just stay there.
Why not?
If we're looking there for clues for the cult of Mephistopheles, I'm not sure what sort of establishment it will be.
Would you say they like to...
It was
Well, weren't we told they go after intellectuals and things in the...
Mephistopheles certainly would, but wasn't the Ivory Fox a favorite haunt of the students and
Right. The
Yeah,
victims of the
scholastic?
cult. The likely victims of the cult.
And
Ooh.
maybe if we're staying there, one of us, it might be more likely for someone in the cult to approach us.
perhaps?
Well,
Never mind.
Well, I just don't think we're usually the subtle type, so perhaps we stay there and say, you know, we'll root them out through loud noises and drinking, more than likely.
well,
I can do two of those.
You
I
are
don't
what I
think-
was referring to.
I don't think they're gonna think of him as an intellectual type.
I've been being taught how to do a cantrip. I'm
Well-
almost there.
But then we just go with the negative space. Those who don't approach Godric are suspects.
That's a lot of people. As I look at some of the crowd, like eyeing Godric.
Of which there are a lot of people pointing.
Cultist, brown hair, blue eyes, shabby dress.
My point is, we don't normally do the subtle thing. not particularly patient or skilled for that.
Well, being subtle is boring.
Well,
Sure.
maybe we just go there and see what we see then?
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe just ask people with threat of death. See what they say.
Or just ask, maybe.
When you ask somebody under threat of death, please answer this question or I will smite you.
Yeah, I take my axe or sword and I lay it across your throat and I grab the back of your head and I say, "You're going to answer questions," or I slowly remove your head.
I would like to point out that we are, in fact, within a civilized society, and threats of
Civilized.
death
Yes.
are
For
frowned
human
upon.
standards.
So no threatening death. Can I just threaten them in general?
Well, maybe, but it might be a tool you want to keep in your back pocket, you know? Only, like, whip it out when you really need to. Try everything else first.
So
and
what
then
I
try-
so know what I normally do.
No. The opposite.
We don't want to threaten anyone that hasn't done anything wrong.
I'll just wait for you to tell me to threaten them then.
Perfect.
Yeah.
No threatening without someone else to say so.
Yeah, and we can...
We have to have a two-step verification process.
Do you remember the students in Emirath?
Very hard heads, yes.
You're a threat just standing in the same spot as them.
But most of them like to puff up like big dragons, and it was they had more courage.
These won't be them.
Uh-huh. Fine.
But yes, sounds like a plan, and I really don't want to carry all my stuff around all day. It's a pretty big city. Yeah, it's a long walk. So, to the Ivory Fox then.
Yes.
Let's
Does
just start.
anybody know how to get there?
Nope.
They said we wouldn't be able to miss it, but I can ask. If there's like a stand or something where someone's selling something, I'll just go up there and ask them where the Ivory Fox is. Is there anybody I can ask?
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of people in the street. So there's a guy over there selling like these bushels of apples, and he's a kind, older-looking gentleman. But you ask him, and he points you towards the direction of the college and says it's in that district. It'd be hard to miss. It's a favorite, and it's got a really big sign. So
Is there any
Thank you.
pastry stands?
in the area, like a perception check.
Oh shit! I'm not perceptive.
Yeah, let's see how that tone was set.
Oh,
a
I'm
7.
perceptive as.
You can smell it. Godric lifts up off the ground and floats across the
Solid 9.
You pick up the distinct smell of baked goods nearby, wafting out of a bakery's open window.
You hope for donuts and it's just bagels.
Yeah.
Bagels.
You see Godric kind of.
Hot take, bagels better.
I love bagels. I had a bagel today just before I came over here.
Bagels.
Be good. I'm gonna walk up the place. I want stuff.
Everything.
I want sweet treats.
It was very good.
cream cheese.
Yeah, they offer a variety of different
I
baked
was
goods,
just-
muffins, fresh bread. Everything looks good. Sourdoughs. They have basically bear claws, what they call dragon claws.
Ooh, I'll take 7 muffins. 8 dragon claws.
I will
3
also.
pies.
I'll buy a bushel of apples from the guy that I talked to.
Yeah. They all look pretty good. They're decent quality. They don't look at all like rotted or like they've been there for too long.
Oh, that's good.
Godric, perhaps you could take 4 of those dragon
So
claws home and
it's like 4
convince them you've
copper
actually
for the
killed
bushel.
one.
Okay, I'll give him just a silver.
If these didn't look so good, I'd be mad at you. Because that's her goal.
The total for everything that you've picked comes out to about 3 silver.
You don't just
The
The
want
baker's
gold-
just looking at you, just like,
I grab a gold piece. I've got nothing else. So sorry.
Your card. Your
And
card.
your charge card, bro.
I do have a charge code, but I can't.
EBT.
Go.
Generally, you just make lock pay for everything.
I have. Yes.
Oh, you can put everything on credit.
So you don't step outside and just be like, hey, does anybody have silver?
It's not worth my time. I give the gold to take my baked goods and go.
It's a hell of a tip, man.
And that is not worth my time. Keep it. I don't care.
Katarina,
All right.
The classic adventure.
Don't
of
come back to
laundry.
me if you find it missing or needed it spent elsewhere. And he just pockets it, puts it away.
Katerina, I actually had an idea.
Then he goes outside behind you and starts calling out, like, fresh baked goods, bread, sourdough, so on and so forth.
Given the nature of this investigation, maybe, because no one here knows you haven't been to Konewald before, right?
I have not.
We need to make you a persona. You could be a student, and you're going to the Ivory Fox because it's the hip place to be, and you've just started studying at one of the circles, and we could build you like this whole profile.
Oh, that's a good idea. I could get in with some of the other students that are there.
Yeah, exactly. But we might have to do a little bit of, asking around about the circle on our way just to get enough details to where we can put something together that makes sense.
That's a wonderful idea. I
Yeah.
like that.
Locke, what do you know about the circle in Konewald?
Nothing.
Don't you know about circles being I know you're not like a circle wizard, but it just seems like it would be in your area of expertise.
I never really had much interest in the circles in my own studies.
I could perhaps consult with them. I would be quite the source of first-hand knowledge of current events. Things dating, 200-300 years ago.
Yeah, and you definitely have that professor vibe. Like how you talk to people, how they don't really know anything, and you're informative, but just a tad condescending.
You're not condescend.
Even the way you're defending yourself sounds a little condescending. It's okay. We can use it. It's an asset. You don't mean it. I know you don't.
It's an ass something.
See, he's doing it again. All right, well, I'll ask around on the way. Oh, over there.
Yeah, and I'm gonna start like
Trin,
harassing people.
I can help you with being cordial in the circles. I know their procedures, but I don't know anything about the people or Konewald specifically.
Well, that is nice, but not all that helpful.
I needed to learn just enough to get into their libraries, and that's about it.
I would have thought that would be more than be polite.
It is, and depends. Make friends with certain people.
Why is it necessary that we ingratiate ourselves with the scholastic?
Well, because those are the targets of the cults.
Or if I can blend in with them, I might be more likely to get information out of them than if we were just random strangers coming around asking weird questions.
Yeah. It's more one of those things.
I don't think you're supposed to put an entire pastry in your mouth while still swallowing the other one. I don't know that anybody could stop you from choking. That maneuver generally doesn't work on people.
Oh, I can get a magic hand down his throat and pull it out. It's happened before.
It sounds disgusting.
It is.
Yeah. Oh, and when we get there, Katerina, you could be like, oh yeah, strange adventurers, this is the hip place to be, and like, it's just setting up the precedence of our profiles, because it's not really something you can take back once you start meeting people. Taking advantage of the fact that we're kind of strangers. I do it all the time. Well, I haven't done it so much recently.
Isn't our little band getting some sort of notoriety? They might even recognize us if we're all together. I mean, we're pretty distinct. Just me and Godric together.
Probably only to those in the right spheres.
Yeah, probably. Especially when you look like this.
As I adjust I cast minor illusion, I make myself look like a gnome.
And who is this?
I don't know yet. I'm still figuring it out.
I've met a few gnomes. I could probably help.
I'm challenged with height. What?
I've met a few gnomes. I could probably help.
Ooh. I'm thinking something long bottom. Because I think that name's funny.
More of a halfling name.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
What's a good gnome name?
Weird colors. Tinkletooth, I heard one.
Tinkletooth?
Yeah.
That seems like a
Tinkertooth.
fae thing.
Tinkertooth.
I've heard Swiftfoot was another one I've heard before.
It's halfling as well.
It's a work in progress.
It's more of a
So
dwarf name.
A work in progress. Good one. That was funny.
Screw you.
Well, hopefully,
Also, well,
as a
actually,
human, I'll
gnomes-
be the least easy to distinguish out of the group, and no one, if they've heard of our group before, won't even notice I'm not there.
Perhaps. Singularly easy to spot, actually. Aesthetically speaking, you are far more attractive than most of the humans in this city.
That doesn't make me stand out, though, among other ones, though. I'd fit in fine.
Yeah, if it flops, it flops. It's just, it would be a missed opportunity if we didn't at least.
You know what is a fantastic gnome name, actually? Twin Twilight. It fits.
Not bad for an alias.
But everyone's gonna know me from all my fantastic deeds and my title. And they're gonna think, well, I thought that was a goblin. Well, maybe I need to adjust as I like modify the image and I make myself like an ugly gnome. And it's like, now they'll think that it's just a mean thing they say to me for being an ugly gnome as I'm like kind of contorted a little bit.
Is disturbing.
That's not very nice to say to your longtime friend, Twin Twilight.
Watching you do that to your face was disturbing.
The gnome. Wait, no, the whole point is I'm not supposed to be a part of the group.
You've done similar things to. With,
As I fix my face.
for
It's
real.
also possibly it's also possible that we're just terribly overthinking it.
Yes, terribly overthinking.
It's impossible for an elf to overthink.
Well, you have hundreds of years to sit around and think about how much you're thinking.
That
Exactly.
seems like overthinking it.
Well, very well practiced. For us, it's just normal thinking.
All right, well, let's go to like triple quick thinking. By the way, it is over here, right? As I start like wandering down the road.
I think we're getting close.
The scenery changes from kind of the lower end quarters towards the academic. You see magic shops and potion shops, places that sell different wands, curios, and stuff for the students at the school. And the actual college itself is kind of just out in the distance, just ahead of you, like maybe 2 blocks or so. But at this intersection, at like this like flat iron looking building in this triangular section of the street, there's on the building inlaid in large letters is Ivory Fox. It's actually very worn down. The building is like a half timber, like most of the other buildings in Konewald, but this one really shows its age with like the cracked plaster and worn paint. And there's probably maybe 10 people standing out front on the sidewalk near the entrance to the inn. But aside from that, it's just people coming and going along the streets.
Right. So you're a student, and I'm a smart, accomplished mage, wizard.
Are we going in together?
Maybe you go in and then we, like you point here, like this is the place, and then you go in and then we follow you tasteful, or they follow you tastefully like 2 minutes after that, and then I follow them tastefully 2 minutes after that.
Locke may not know anything about mage circles, but he's still a mage.
And they were forged.
Just walking in as a warforged would probably be enough, actually.
Maybe I'm not a mage. Maybe I'm a gnome inventor.
You invented the warforged.
No one would buy that.
Couldn't you use that magic on Locke?
No, I can't.
I'm not. I think we are overthinking this. Why
I'm
are you
gonna-
disguised?
Again, elves don't overthink.
It's a missed opportunity. Fine.
I'm
Do
gonna
what you want. I'm an inventor now.
I'm gonna put my hair up in a bun or something, and then put my eyes of minute seeing on, so I look more nerdy.
Librarian.
Intelligent.
Yeah.
Librarian. The whole party's just like,
Alright. I think I would like to go over to the Inquisition and at least inform them of what we're doing. Because we could cross paths, and I would like for it to not be a conflict, as it usually is with us.
Then why don't we start by checking into a room, going to see the Inquisition, and deciding on the plan there? We have no idea what information, permissions, or denials they'll even give us.
Yes, I
Yeah.
agree.
You seem annoyed.
I'm ready to move on. So.
That Bun knows something looks nice.
Thank you.
I reach into my bag and pull out a couple elven hair ties. I use these.
Would it be weird if I was wearing elven hair ties?
They just have a better material, as I think they're just going to look like normal hair ties. It's not like they say elven on them. I just meant for future, if you ever wanted to pull your hair. In combat, I tie my hair back so that it doesn't get in the way.
I don't normally need to since I'm standing far enough back.
Alright.
But thank you.
It's just an efficiency issue. Right. Does this Ivory Fox have rooms? Do we know? Is that it right there?
I think so.
Well, the huge white fox sign sort of gives it away, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Oh, I'll see you on the inside. As I run in the doors, or I scamper. I scamper in the doors.
Scamper into the doors.
Don't goblins move faster than normal races?
No,
They move the
goblins
same speed.
are a normal race.
Yeah. You bigot.
Way to go.
Well, I'm an asshole. I'm an asshole. Thanks for calling me out. Damn.
Clip. But to answer your questions, goblins do have a faster walking speed than most traditional classified small races.
They move 30 instead of 20.
They're 30 instead of 25.
Oh.
So,
Is your speed only 20?
No. I can't get the I can't get D&D Beyond to listen to me when I say that the plate mail is made of mithril. D&D's like, you're still slow, bud. And I was like, that's exactly against the rules.
Open them. You can customize the weight to 0 or whatever.
But is it weight based?
Yes. Because he's over encumbered is the problem.
There's no way I'm overcovered.
That's why
That's because plate mail moves your speed to 20.
when you're not. Oh, when
Well,
you're
a
not
couple
distracted,
minutes after
that's
Trin goes in, I'm gonna go in.
okay.
I do, but no, I don't.
So, at this time of day, it's not super busy yet, but so the interior is mostly has like green drapery along the windows, and all of its furnishings are a little worse for the wear than you would think for a place that's supposedly so popular. But it does have an exceptionally large bar kind of in the center of the Carmen room that's just right in the middle. It's accessible from all sides. There's mementos and like kind of curios and stuff up on the walls, on the shelves, all along the sides of the room. And there's a few like landscape paintings of like the Bravashan countryside just on some of the places where there's room, including one large one of like a painting of the city above the fireplace that's in there. You see that there is maybe about 12 patrons in there. There's a few of them that kind of stand out to you. There's a male orc sitting in the booth in the back, kind of just quietly sitting there with a mug of ale or something, and just with his hands together and his thumbs just kind of moving them back and forth. You see two very thin, like female elves sitting at the bar and like talking to each other, just sitting right next to each other, having a conversation and laughing. They both have the look of being adventurers of some sort. You can clearly see the holy symbol of the goddess Ishtar on one of them. Then there is mostly just regular commoners, few humans, there's a couple of halflings in there, but it's not very busy yet at this time of the day. So going over and talking to the barkeep isn't much of a problem. He turns around and he's kind of this older guy, and probably in his 60s. He's got a receding hairline and this very prominent, blue shirt with these bell sleeves and a brown vest over the top with these cloth buttons. And he kind of just turns and sees you all. He's kind of built. He's not necessarily like a portly individual, but he's kind of large, but not really imposing. He has this very gentle smile when he turns around. And how would I be assisting you today?
Hi, I'm brand new to the city. I was looking to maybe meet some students of the circle. I've been wanting to join this circle, but I wanted to get some information from some students
Just
that
override your speed.
are currently there. Do you know any?
I don't believe the classes would be in session at this time of day, so most of the students should most likely be at the college already.
That makes sense. About what time do they usually come in?
Late evening or so, once everything is done. Sometimes the professors or teachers, or they'll send them out to do things like errands, and they'll slip in here for a drink or maybe a meal. But most of the time, the student sponsors are pretty keep a close eye on the students there. They want to make sure their money is well spent in getting them an education at the college.
That makes sense. Perfect. Thank you for the information. I'll have to come back later.
Well, as you can see, there's plenty of booths, so feel free to sit down. We're serving some made dumplings and some elf soup and some oranges as well.
Say elf or elk?
Elk.
Thank you.
It would be exceptionally strange to serve elf soup.
Well, no,
The wild man.
like an elven soup, like a lentil or something. I hoped. Never mind.
An elf who can't hear. As I'm sitting over on the side of the bar, pointing in front of you. Some elf.
He looks at you all. Do you know him?
Never seen him before today.
Erlen Lightblob. Gnome adventurer and tinkerer. Pleasure to meet you. Another one, bartender.
You didn't even order a first one.
Who is this person?
Well, from the last restaurant I was at, I got pretty tanked.
That's true.
Another one.
No, but it's not.
By the way, so you said you're new to the city. Do you already have a state sponsor for the college?
I have
That's-
not gotten one yet.
No. So you're looking for a room then?
A room would be excellent.
For all of you?
I won't need one.
You all came here with her? Are these friends of yours?
You have to stay somewhere.
He can
Stay,
stay.
stay down here.
I'm just gonna say you can stay.
Or
from
stay in
mine.
one of your rooms. Watch you sleep, I suppose.
If you don't eat or drink, or need a place to sleep, then you're basically freeloading in a tavern. There's no way they'll be okay with that.
You there, Warforged. It's been a while since I've seen one of your kind.
You said you're a tinkerer.
I am a
I
tinkerer.
roll my sleeve down and pop the hidden blade,
Ooh,
which is now broken.
fascinating. Fascinating.
I need a replacement. Could you do
Oh.
that?
I possibly could. I quite possibly could. I'd have to look in my sack.
Honestly, I don't think the replacement is necessary.
I don't get to spend a lot of quality time with machines of your making quality. Very human, as I like to tap you. You know, if you would like, you can stop by my room and I could possibly do some work on you. By the way, I need a room. I will be staying here a few days. Not too long. People might start to say things. I don't know what. Incriminating things. Not so incriminating. I'm not a criminal, I'm an inventor.
I met them briefly outside, but I think just a room for myself. I'll probably start with just 2 days for now and see how trying to join the circle goes after that.
Oh, circles, difficult indeed.
Well, for a single room, it's 20 silver pieces a night.
Perfect.
Fuck.
So I'll pay for 2 rooms. Or 1 room for 2 nights.
Does it come with massage?
Why do
Jesus.
you think they say 20 silver pieces and not just 2 gold? Would it feel cheaper that way?
You see Godric counting silver, then he stops, and then pulls out 2 gold. I'll take a room.
Right?
And then I'd like to open a tab while I'm here. So not to,
I don't think I know you well enough to give you a tab, sir.
well, last time I did, I just gave you money up front, and then if I went over, he'd let me know. That was the last time I was
So
at.
prepay, less a tab.
It's so I don't have to keep pulling money out of my pouch when I'm drinking.
You might want to do that just so you can check it.
You said there were some people sitting there that were obviously students?
Sticky fingers.
No? Okay.
They're a problem.
No, there are two elves in there sitting at the bar drinking who are obviously adventurers.
Right. Okay. That's
One of them has the holy symbol of Ishtar on her person.
Interesting.
Ishtar.
Well, never mind. I didn't know if you're... Alright, well then...
You can pay and put money on the books, but it's less a tab, per se.
Oh, okay. Well then, I'll put 5 gold on the books.
You're gonna put the bartender on retainer.
Alright. Not gonna get you as much as you think, most likely, but alright. I don't know if you were listening, but like I told the young lady, most of the people we cater to are students. Students have money because students have wealthy benefactors and patrons who pay for their schooling. So,
So fine establishments like this rip
Oh,
them off.
okay. So I pull out 100 gold.
that's more like it.
What was the point of banking all of your gold if you're still carrying that much on you?
Pocket change.
Okay.
The barkeep just changed. Okay.
Elven clothing does not usually contain pockets.
Well, my pocket is on my belt and I flip it inside to protect it from stealing.
Right.
What?
It rests along my leg.
I assume you
This
know
Goliath
the
is
area
weird.
well. It's,
I lived here my whole life. It would be hard not to.
is there an artificer of renown around that runs
Of
a shop?
renown, you'd probably find him at the college.
And runs a shop. What's the second qualifier?
Oh, not that I'm aware of.
Apparently, I'm chop liver.
Yes, I believe that was the
Just wanted to keep my options open.
Ouch! Your words, they sting! I'm of quite renowned. You haven't heard of the light blobs?
Light blob. I was going to
Yes,
ask,
the
I
light
thought it was
blobs.
Fluffy bottom.
Well, we're well known in the gnomish circles. None of you would know who we are, I suppose, as I look around. Make sure there's no gnomes.
I'll need a room as well. Myself, a bugbear, and a fox.
Burp's over there. He's found like a spider in the corner and he's just helping it up the wall. Yeah, can do. 20 silver then.
Well, right. Hopefully this covers it, and I'll reach into my pouch and pull out some the elven gemstones I have. No. This one is... What?
Whoop.
What just happened?
That is what we call a commercial that shouldn't exist.
Hey, some people have to live with it, and it's important. Okay, we just want you to know that we support your struggle. But we don't support the struggle. We support you through your struggle.
Notice the pink. And the purple. It's also suicidal.
We'll
in
say
this
it was
one.
on purpose.
Check on your friends.
Always check on your friends.
Yeah.
Always, always, always. Right, well, these 3 green ones, and then that one's probably older than you. Well, when it was faceted, at least.
I was gonna say
gemstones are
rocks.
Rocks, they're old.
Tend to be old.
The more you know. Thanks, Elf.
I'm no dwarf.
Thanks, Elf. Way to help.
Is that...
It's good enough.
Thank you.
Either way. I'll take them and have them changed in value later. How many days will you be staying with us?
3?
I planned on
2 to 3.
I thought it was 3.
2 nights.
Well, between the gems that you gave me, everybody else seemed to pay the head, so... Either way.
Yeah, I believe my benefactors have sent some money ahead.
No, I don't believe that's true.
The Titans of Tinkering.
No,
Nothing.
nothing.
Yes, Titans of Tinkering, I've heard of them. TOT, for short.
Yes. Yes, indeed. It must have been Shelley in accounting. Stupid Shelley. Never gets anything right. I don't know why we keep her around. Oh, yeah, that's right. Because she's, the daughter of one of the people that run the company. But when you have exuberant talent such as myself, of course we don't get the promotions. Fine, at least they pay decent. I'll be charging.
Didn't you want a drink? And he just starts pouring you something and hands it to you.
At least
I
he's
take the
committed.
drink. Yes, the drink and an itemized receipt.
There's a booth over there. As a matter of fact.
I plan for reimbursement as I slide some money over from the company, not you.
Okay.
Go
Away. Well, you find the rooms in good condition with changed sheets and clean and such. You can just go down the hallway here, right across from us, and find one of your liking that's not occupied.
I start walking down there to put my shite down.
Okay. Bert follows you over to a room, I assume?
They're walking. Oh, actual wool.
Mm.
These beds are nice.
Oh, this one has a bigger bed.
Bert just goes and lays face down. Bam! On the bed. Yeah.
Who's next to me? Whose room is next to mine? Any of them, or are they separated?
You guys are all pretty separated. There's a lot of rooms that are occupied, so... So the nearest room to yours on the same floor as you would be Katerina.
I thought you were just gonna come to mine.
Everybody else ended upstairs on the second floor.
For now.
Gotta go drop my stuff off. Got lots to do. Stairs. As I start going up the stairs to my room.
I politely, as we're walking past each other, not Mr. Twiddlebulb.
It's Light Blob.
Light Blob. All right.
Yes. Elf with poor hearing. What was your name?
What?
What? You're not gonna get one over on me, Sonny.
My name is Oltheon.
Oltheon.
Yes.
Oh, pleasure to make your acquaintance, Oltheon.
Yes. It is great meeting you for the first time ever.
Yes, indeed. May your life be a fortunate one in case we never meet each other again.
Should, right?
Well, I think so.
Oh.
Is anybody else?
The door opens nearby, and someone comes out of what's obviously a privy, and there's like...
As
And
soon
they
as they
just
step out
close
of the
it?
privy, I turn and glare at them.
They just lower their eyes and keep walking, but you can tell that they're very confused by the conversation that just happened.
Good day, good day. As I walk past them, I scamper past them to head towards my room.
Yes, it was great meeting you.
Indeed.
I'll go
Nice meeting.
claim a room, and then
Yeah.
I'll go back out into the main area and grab a table and pull a book out and just look studious.
Studious. Nice. Make me a performance check.
I think I'm good at those.
When she
I hope so.
I'm decent at those.
when she goes to the table, I will sit on the table across from her.
On the table?
Sit at the table across from her.
22.
And
Nice.
Nice.
You look exceptionally studious.
I'll set the little miniature.
Nobody noticed your book was upside down.
Yeah.
I'll pull the
I am
mini-
very smart.
I'll pull the miniature chest from the pocket in my sleeve, set it on the table, and tap it so it grows.
Every time I
Take the
finish a
tinker
chapter.
tools that are in it
So
out,
smart.
extend the blade from my arm, and start to remove it, which will take an hour.
Okay.
It's intricate.
So, aside, as you're in here for a few minutes, aside from the people who are already in there, about a middle-aged, kind of middle-aged looking female dragonborn kind of enters the business and goes and sits down in one of the other booths. Pulls out this stack of books and like this journal, and then lays out like a couple of maps on the table and just starts referencing the journal and drawing and sketching some stuff out and transferring information between the two.
What color dragon form?
She'd be a brass.
Rude.
She'd be a
Well-
brass dragonborn.
Either way, I'm gonna subtle spell cast detect thoughts on her.
Okay.
To help draw a little more
Yeah,
attention.
like crickets were just like,
There's like a particular
Yeah.
just
yeah,
falling
it's like,
through.
what are you doing? He's about to roleplay like a badass.
Yeah.
So
I'm getting into character. You shut up.
yeah, as pieces start coming off,
Uh-huh.
I presto a schematic onto that glows slightly onto the tabletop, and then start putting like the pieces where they go.
So the barkeep calls over to you. He's like, "Hey,
Yeah. Yes.
don't do any permanent damage, at least."
I make it disappear and come back. No harm done.
This time, we keep it in mind.
You got it.
This is a man who's dealt with students.
Some man who's dealt with dumbasses.
What's the difference?
So Godric will be right at home. All right. So what's the spell do again?
So at first I can just read like surface
Just
level
level thoughts, right?
Yeah, like what
Okay.
she's thinking in the moment.
And you don't want to go any deeper than that, then?
Not
Okay.
yet.
Just want to make sure.
We'll see.
We'll see what the surface says.
So-
I might not want to make enemies in here.
She's a cartographer, and she's simply just focused on drawing some new maps of the region. That's it.
Okay.
She's busy. She has a deadline, and she's trying to get these maps to a client.
Use my elf eyes to look at the titles of the
What other
books
eyes
she
would you
has.
use?
Goblin eyes.
You
Try to look at that.
pull them out of your bag.
With your goblin eyes.
I want to look at the books she has. I mean, I highly doubt it, but there's always a chance one of the books is like making friends with Mephistopheles or something. Just going to glance at the books. Do any of the titles stand out to me at all?
Your guide
So
to
you've
deals
been
with
asked to
devils.
join a cult.
No, they're actually they
Cults
don't
for
have
dummies.
any titles at all. They're just books, journals.
Oh, okay.
So they're probably hers personally
Probably,
for
yeah.
keeping track of information. So there's nothing titled on the table with her.
Either they're really heady books and they just have it on the cover, not the spine.
What are the two elven adventurers chatting about?
You kind of are you gonna attempt to like
Yes.
listen in on them?
absolutely.
Rude.
So they're being pretty quiet, but make me a perception check, please.
17.
17. So they're both adventurers. You pick up their names. One of them's name is Tisharu Lionclaw, and the other is Ayla Vien. Tisharu is a ranger, and Ayla is a cleric of Ishtar. They actually recently returned from dealing with a devil summoning in a small town outside the city called Weimar.
Okay.
Nothing major. An imp, supposedly some student had erroneously summoned while, trying to do magic they weren't necessarily prepared for. It got loose and was causing some havoc in the local marketplace, and they went and dealt with it, banished
Colt
it.
tried to summon it, and they covered it up.
Maybe the student is in the cult.
Yeah.
Both things could be true.
Anyway, so the town is Weimar, Wiemer. You need the names of the elves again.
Just the first one.
The first one, Tisharu Lionclaw.
Tisharu, thank you.
Mhm. But they're just going back and forth and discussing that and what they're going to be doing in the city while they're here. And Ayla has to. She's going to go find a shrine of Ishtar and basically take care of some overdue praying. So
They look like moon elves, or
they're definitely moon elves for sure. Not raised. They're not dressed in the garments of or traditional garments of anybody who'd be from Yavalari at all. So they're definitely raised in like the human lands, probably within the empire in a small town.
oh,
Anything else?
I'm gonna approach the barkeep.
Okay.
Where's the local adventuring guild?
Oh, it's a little bit way out of your way from here, but you can find it. And he gives you some directions on the street, and take you about like 25 minutes or so to walk over there, probably.
And they do auctions and stuff as well, and for other adventures. Yes.
That's where most adventurers or any kind of mercenaries who have any loot that they find normally take them to a guild like so to have them auctioned. Yes.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I know where I'm going, and I.
Oh, you definitely seem like you carry way too much money, so yes, have fun.
Yeah.
Those sort of auctions draw some of the highest bidders and everywhere if they're having them.
First time going. Should be fun.
Yeah, I guess if that's what you call it. Fun.
Yeah, I nod and turning to leave.
Slap! As I slap Locke's head. You amateur, what do you think you're doing? Have you ever used a Tinkerer's Toolkit in your life?
You slapped the table, and all the like little tiny bits that I have carefully laid out in the schematic just roll.
You need to be more careful. Look at the mess you made. Amateurs. Amateurs. You couldn't have waited for me.
Trin.
I told you I would help you out. Who is this Trin character? I am an altruistic,
Drop
honest...
the commitment.
So while they're having this discussion very loudly in the common room, so just so I can understand, how long do we want? Because it's still pretty early in the day. It's like not even noon yet. So, and the students don't arrive till evening. So what is the plan for trying to uncover a cult here in the Ivory Fox?
I aside from wanting to talk to the elves briefly,
Yeah.
I have.
Yeah, the next step
I'm
is
gonna
just
wait.
to
I'm
go.
I'm gonna wait for Ulthium to go there because I said I would go with him last time we talked
To where?
to the guild when we decided to go the auction house.
If I understand correctly, the idea was get rooms,
Yeah.
then
Then
go to
go.
the Inquisition,
Oh,
Yes.
Inquisition. Okay. I'm
Yes.
sorry, yeah.
right?
Were you
Yeah.
going to try to go to the auction house while some of us went to the Inquisition?
Yeah. Fuck it. Sure. Me not going to the Inquisition is probably good.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're just trying on your act,
Persona.
your persona, basically, correct?
Mhm.
All right.
So probably, I mean, he said his work was going to take about an hour, so I think
Yeah.
we
So
have
about an
to
hour, you
kill.
just sit,
Yeah.
eat, relax, and okay.
Yeah.
Eavesdrop. There is a decent amount of gossip that you guys pick up from the area. Over the course of an hour, some people kind of come in for morning, for breakfast, before opening up and going to the stores. You hear a few interesting things. There has been a series of high-profile burglaries where an individual is getting into people's second stories, and they only take gems. It's the only thing that disappears, and it's the only thing of value that most of these people like really have. They
I
leave
wonder if it's
paintings, they leave
suspicious
money,
Now that you paid in gems.
everything. The state of Teutoburg is more or less faltering at the onslaught of the Red Hands legions, and much of the region has been abandoned, with refugees streaming into the nearby states. But the Black Knights have been fighting valiantly, and they actually had a major victory outside the town of Frankton, where they defeated a large regiment of hobgoblins there. You also hear that the vampire aristocracy was forced to abandon LaCroix Castle.
What?
But in doing so, a cursed plague emanated from its ruins, and a ton of soldiers who were fighting there were turned into feral vampires afterwards.
But broke that record. Siege accomplished.
And then there's rumors that someone or something has been on a murderous rampage within Konewald for the past year, and the Inquisition hasn't been able to turn up much of anything, at all. People have just been disappearing, found killed in alleyways.
That sounds like our lead.
Might be.
Want something else altogether.
Aside from that, it's just regular gossip about the Crown Prince, the Emperor's failing health, and who's going to be taking her place, and what this basically state affairs and how everybody feels about the government currently. And the war. It's a lot of that.
No, approach
Rumors
the
of
elves
dragons and stuff.
You
Lightly
fuck with
bow.
the war?
Excuse me, friends. I hoped perhaps I could ask a question.
You just kind of pushing this broadly to the both of them, or did you talk to one of them in
No,
particular?
just to both of them.
To the both of them? Okay. The ranger, Tisharu, she turns to you and, sure, what kind of questions did you have for us?
I am not from around here, and I saw the two of you sitting there. I was wondering perhaps if you knew of anything resembling a proper elven drink that could be ordered here.
They kind of both look at each other. Not quite sure what you mean by proper elven drink, per se.
Whatever you're drinking must fit the palate nicely.
Well, we're drinking the king's drink, the mead.
Really?
Sure, why not? I mean, we're both from here. This, for us, is local.
Oh, my apologies. I'm sorry to assume. Perhaps I'll try the king's drink then.
I think
it's
it's
mead.
pretty good.
Right. I'll try that then.
I mean, Ayla here was basically raised on it, weren't you? And she just like, more or less. Yes. All I had to drink all the time. Just keeps drinking out of the cup.
I motion at whoever's serving and just kind of point at theirs and
He fills up 3 cups and brings them over to you.
set theirs down for them. Thank you again.
Well, that was kind of you,
Ulthion Amadea.
Ulthion Amadea.
Yes.
So, from far away, are we?
Quite
I may
far,
not have
yes.
been raised amongst most of my kin, as a lot of us aren't here in the city, but I can definitely recognize someone from a faraway land.
Yes, Mendrathis
Drathis.
on Eridor.
Yes, far indeed. Heard
It is.
stories told by my mother about the lands and the history of our people, but mostly just fairy tales at this point to us.
Fascinating. I hate to admit it, but I did sort of, and I just tapped the tip of the point of my ear.
Mm.
Did sort of overhear something about a recent adventure the two of you were on, stopping a devil summoning of some sort.
No, not stopping the devil. Something, no, of course not. It was beyond that point.
Oh.
Some foolish student had summoned it, and this imp was invisible and running amok in people's homes and knocking over market stalls, and for a small price, we ended up taking care of it. Ayla here's absolutely insistent that the creature be vanquished, and which it was, and sent back to the plains of hell.
Understandable. And do you suspect any, if I may ask, any possible link to a devilish cult or anything like that, or was this more just a random happenstance?
So she just kind of laughs. She's like, a cult? Maybe the beginnings of one, but if you had seen how absolutely shocked this student of magic was at summoning the imp and the explanations we were given, I wouldn't assume any cult would want this individual summoning anything for them. The barrier was inconsistent and weak as giving it credence.
Fair. Well, at the very least, you closed one of the possible avenues for me. I'm here with a group of adventurers as well.
She kind of looks.
Oh, that disguised gnome right there, the Warforged, the loud one, and the student as well.
Ah, I see.
So,
Well, I hope whatever you learned from us was helpful.
in a matter of speaking, I think it was. Well, that's, I don't want to waste any more of your time.
No, we have time to waste currently. That's why we're here celebrating.
Do you know anything of the local Adventurers Guild?
A little something. I believe that I've taken a few trinkets to them over the past 20 or 30 years of my life.
So not long. Any tips or anything we should know before introducing ourselves to them?
I don't think so. It's all pretty straightforward. If you're there to buy, then you look through a registry and a list, and you find the items that you're interested in. They may be able to show them to you. If not, then they're probably in a private collection somewhere, and there's just a tag for it there. If you have a request, they might send the request to another adventurer or to a local wizards guild to have it made. A lot of what we have here in the city is made at the college. It's how the college makes its money. Well, that and state sponsorship, because if you have magic, that's where you're going, because you don't have a choice.
And if we were trying to drum up business with the Inquisition, do you know where the best place to go for that would be?
Well, I assume you just go straight to the Cathedral of Parathor.
Right, good. That's what I assumed as well. Well, I look over at the Cleric of Ishtar, Ayla. Blessings of the Seldarine upon you.
Just like, yeah, well enough.
Sorry.
Awkwardly.
No.
Good day. And I just walk towards Godric.
All right. As you're finding your seat, that's when I set it on the table. Just kind of drop it.
Cling. It's good to get rid of that. It's quite useless.
Yeah, well, apparently your friend can at least follow some simple instructions.
It who? We don't strike our friends. And then I turn an eyeball lock. I don't. The two adventurers had actually fought an imp recently. I don't think it has anything to do with the cult, though. And then I didn't get directions on the Adventurers Guild. I should have done that. Apologies.
I've already have the directions.
Right. Okay. Perfect.
I asked the barkeep.
Then, whenever you're ready, Inquisition Hall. Going to join us there?
Do you want me to tag along, or do you want me? I can take care of my business while you're doing that and letting them know what we're doing in their city.
It's up to you. Last time the Inquisitors were quite abrasive.
Oh, I know. I was short of killing them.
Right. Whether or not you want to abstain from self-control or not, I think would decide whether you went with us or with the auction hall.
Locke, do you want to go with me?
Actually,
That's why I brought it up.
if you don't mind, I think I'd rather take him into the cathedral.
Why?
Well, if you were to... what are we calling that, by the way? The red eyes. Do we have a term for it?
He enters a rage.
Rampancy.
A what?
Rampant.
Degenerate rampancy.
I was going to call it red out, but... anyway, if you were to become rampant inside the cathedral, I think that you'd be put down fairly quickly, and thus most people would be safe. Plus, I can test a quiet theory.
Which theory?
Oh, the theory in which you seem to be a bit resistant to the divine, and they anger you at some points. Perhaps there's a tie to that.
Resistant to the divine in what way?
You're constantly trying to explain them away and say things like they don't know what they're talking about and they're not actually good. Things like that. Or that faith is wrong. I don't have the stomach for arguing philosophy with you, but I've noticed a hesitancy towards them.
Okay. I won't argue that.
I'm hoping you were planning on keeping that junk. I disposed of it for you properly. So what are you in the city to do? I have some errands to run, so I simply must be going, but I do plan on working on that arm a little bit further later this evening. You plan on coming back?
Your commitment to this.
I am committed to good, solid work, because I am a trusted tinkerer extraordinaire. As I turn and I head out the front door.
It's good. We do have to meet our goblin friend that gnome has never met before.
Good luck.
Right. We'll meet back here after then.
Yeah.
If we don't come back, just assume we've been arrested and you should continue the quest on your own.
Oh no, I'm gonna come knocking then. You said you're going to the cathedral?
Yes, a Parathor.
Perfect.
Probably one of the most secure and powerful places in all of Bravatus.
Sounds like a journey of amazingness.
You are going to be missing out on the architecture.
Rocks. Whoa. As Godric turns and gets ready to leave.
God, how much I hate him. You're sitting over reading, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of very unsubtly go, motion towards the door. Ready?
Yes.
I get up and I shall be off. Walk out the front.
Everybody looks like, even the Dragonborn, she's like, just goes back to very carefully getting really close to the maps and drawing.
I roll up the tinker tools, put it in the chest, shrink it down, put it back. Go.
I think I'm gonna hang out there just in case anyone comes in. I don't have any business in the city. I don't think so.
Okay.
Just gonna stay there and stake it out, see who comes and goes and what's going on.
Be complete fate. Nice.
Yeah. I'm going all in
All
on
right, gang.
being
Let's split up and look for
cultivate.
clues.
Make me a
I definitely am not looking.
make me a perception check. Then
Do we still have the sending stones? Both of them?
it's gonna be a broad baseline for how
The other two?
good you are keeping track of the details of the patrons who come in.
I am gonna use one of my legendary locks.
Ooh, all
Because I rolled a
right.
3. 14 is much better.
14. Okay.
Yeah.
So
They're in the chest.
I
by
am
the way.
not wise.
They were in the chest.
according to me, that was your last one.
Hmm?
According to my keeping tracker thingy here, my list, that was your last one. You now have 0.
Sweet.
She's like, I trust you.
Yeah. You know what, that's
Works
fair.
for me.
Yep.
So, if
I
that's-
keep track of
I
all this.
needed
I have a
something-
master list with your guys' names.
They
and
do
your
require
Very
I
helpful.
needed,
Still
I needed
requires
something
everything.
better than a 3, so
Oh,
I
that's right, they
stand
require
by.
two now.
They require
That's why we
to.
literally never
That's
use
why
them.
we're not
That's
using
why we've
them.
never used them.
Alright, never mind.
Wait a minute. I just thought of a thing. We have Burrup attuned to one. We hire another person to carry loot or whatever.
Oh, that person
They
will
attune
die.
to that. And then we communicate through Burrup and that person.
That sounds awful.
Level 1 adventurer. You are our communicator.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
According to my list, you also have inspiration, Mike. Don't forget about that.
Or
And Justin and Alex both have auto save fails still banked against them.
I sure do.
I have 1 legendary left, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I wanted to make sure I had that right. I was gonna say, Misha
How
should,
didn't we think about that?
Misha should get the second one.
Bridget.
Why
So that
didn't
Burp
we
and
give
Misha
them
can
one?
talk to each other.
Come in, Misha.
All attune to one. Misha can attune to the other one.
Every day, they're like right next to each other. They still use it. Can you hear me?
This is so cool.
Waste the one use of it every morning.
Okay.
Hey, Misha. Good morning.
But what does the fox say?
No, that's not how foxes sound at all.
No, but this is an intelligent Misha.
I see. I see.
All right. Guild,
Yes.
you ran out the door. Where are you going?
The cathedral.
Okay. Okay, cool. Cool.
He's just sprinting there at full.
I'm going to get there first.
Scampering. Well, I'm gonna go out a little bit safely enough away, verify I haven't been followed, dip into an alley, change back.
People have been murdered in alleys. Don't go there.
Happens all the time.
Well, it happens.
Happens.
Well,
It
and this
happened to
gnome
Wayne's.
just went into a dark alley and
Same.
a goblin,
Goblin
came
was.
out.
Oh, there's some rumors spreading.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
They
Light
definitely
bulb,
didn't just
Twilight.
walk past each other. That goblin murdered that gnome.
For sure, that's what
For
everybody's gonna
sure.
say.
A little bit of a blood feud, you know.
Okay.
But yeah, but
they
I'll
fight
go-
over who is the most adorable small thing in all of Terraland.
Yeah.
Goes back centuries.
That would have been a halfling that was in Stockwind.
There we go. Fair enough.
Yeah, but yeah,
Yeah,
so
I agree.
I'll go a little bit, but then I'll stop and let them catch up.
So you run out the door, right, and just go out into the street.
Yeah,
Um,
I think so.
That was weird, right?
If nothing horrible
So that's
happens
an
to me.
interesting question. Yeah.
Do I make it to the street?
Absolutely, you do.
Entrin was
You walk out
never
the front door
seen
and a trap
again.
Where you are stopped by a tiefling.
Oh.
Oh, you're
Do
all
I
alone.
recognize this tiefling?
You do. It says Mina.
Oh, you're all alone.
Not for
We're
long.
behind him, yeah.
Yeah, you guys are coming right out the doors.
Yeah.
Oh, who are you, stranger?
Yeah, technically I walk behind
Pleasure to meet
She
you.
shakes her head. Trin. Really?
It's Light Blob. I'm doing a bit. Just refer to me as Light Blob.
Very well. Light blob.
It's a pleasure. I see that you receive my message, my note, my communique. I heard some army, guards and stuff say stuff like that. Communique. They're lazy and they don't want to say communication. I don't get what the big deal is. It's just a little syllables on the end. I don't know. Like, you save so much time. Communicate. Well, if I say that a bunch of times, that's like
I feel
5
very
minutes every
nervous
week.
talking.
And I just continue rambling until they catch up.
Alright. So she kind of just listens to you for a moment, and then everything gets really quiet. And suddenly nobody can hear you or her, and you can't hear any noise coming in from the outside.
Oh, so it's just
And
me
everything
now.
just gets quiet.
I'm by myself. She's gonna take me to hell, guys. She's gonna hold me hostage.
As you all hit the street, you see Trin standing there with Ismina, and as you kind of close in, the same sensation happens.
Did you
It
get
gets
first, or did
100% quiet, and all the outside noise is blocked. Ismina's,
I don't know.
well, now that most of you are here, so my patron has sent me to more or less just confirm the deal. Favor for getting rid of the cult. That's it. They all have to be eliminated now. No loose ends.
No loose ends. Understood. I think that's something we can do. We're good at loose ends is killing people. We're good at that.
That's why the lady wants you to handle it.
Wait, what exactly is a loose end in a secretive cult?
Person
A breathing
to carry
body.
on and run the cult some more.
Should we cover our faces?
That's entirely up to your discretion.
I have some ideas.
While working with hunting down a cult and doing so while connected to another devil or greater devil, best that you avoid advertising it, per se, but either way,
I prefer
an open-ended favor is a very, very powerful tool to have at your disposal, especially from an archduchess.
This cult must be quite the thorn then.
My lady did not say. She simply wants them gone.
Perhaps it's a political move.
Maybe.
It's not about the cult so much as it's about being able to say that we sided with Glacia.
Or just that Glacia can throw some sand in the face of Mephistopheles.
Pretty close.
Maybe. Maybe he insulted her. Maybe they insulted her. Maybe they
Maybe
didn't pay
it's
their dues. Or maybe they very recently sacrificed one of her very loyal followers at an altar.
I feel like that might be it.
That was rather specific.
Yeah, it was. Is there any?
But the lady didn't say.
Yeah. And on the
No
bright
loose
side,
ends. Make sure they're all dead.
yeah, we're
we
just
clear?
killing them.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't have to worry about doing any sort of weird stuff after we kill them or when we kill them or before. We just have to kill.
Any insights on who to look for?
No?
I
think
tend to
that's
be
no
very
beats.
agreeable towards slaying all who follow a devil.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Think about it as we're getting rid of some bad people and there's a little bonus at the end. Don't think that we're doing the bidding of a devil.
You're not
Just-
doing the bidding of anything. You're partners.
Yes,
You're working
partners.
together.
Yes.
We're making Konewald a safer place for all. Or so I'm told.
I don't think that's our honest motivations, but that might be the end result.
Listen, I just pass on the messages, alright? Let's not forget that one of the very few reasons that you are all even here is because the lady directed me to go to the Silver Choir and help them find you.
There is some truth to that. That's me, by the way.
Yeah, that would be him. The goblin. Rescued you. And you. And what's her name in the tavern?
Question.
You know, the pretty one, the sorcerer.
Yeah.
Yes, that would be, Terrarina.
Katarina.
You never
What?
give the name
Shut
to a
up.
devil.
It's not important.
Oh,
Just because she has.
I'm playing. I'm being facetious. Of course, I know what her name is. I did have to find her.
I have a question. Does the if we take care of these people and we go there and they have captured people, do they count as witnesses?
They do count as loose ends.
Ah, well.
Congratulations, you've caught up to the rest of everybody else.
So if someone's there against their will, do they count as a witness?
The directive is clear. Everyone has to die.
Well,
Not quite.
We can always walk away now.
Perhaps we should.
Let's
Maybe the
You could
Inquisition-
always welch on it. You just lose a favor. There's nothing else at stake here. She's not asking for your souls in return for failing. There's no contract needed, no loose ends. They're not asking you for anything other than to do her a personal favor. There's no guarantee of return for power, for anything. Other than, there's an open-ended favor, which, again, I will point out, an open-ended favor from an Archduchess of a layer of hell. Yours.
Perhaps this will come as no shock to anyone, but I prefer we don't make deals with devils at all.
Well, it's always good to have them in your back pocket if you're going to. But point of clarification. I have a certain set of talents having to do with the mind and memories and stuff.
Yes,
Now-
I'm aware, Trin.
Yes, I know. I'm super talented, world renowned, kind of a big deal.
Sure.
Anyway, so like I was saying, these loose ends, what if we, murder all the cultists and all the bad guys that she totally has all these problems with, but maybe we find, like, this innocent child or something else innocent that they're trying to murder.
That's not the Cult of Mephistopheles style.
Well, you know what I mean. Or a young, talented, sorcerer or something. And they're like, oh, I have my whole future ahead of me and I'm totally about to be sacrificed for this cult. And then we find him, and I'm like, you're gonna forget that all this happened and you're just gonna wake up in your bed happily ever after.
And
Does
you'll
that-
permanently forget for all time. You won't remember like 24 hours or several days or months from now.
For all time.
For all time.
Would that qualify? Because that doesn't really sound very loose. It sounds really, really tight.
However, it's done. It doesn't matter as long as there's no loose ends.
Okay. So loose ends
As
does
long
not...
as there's nobody left to say, we saw these adventurers come in here, be able to identify you and say, they killed this cult.
Gotcha. That is very clear. Much
Especially
more-
if someone asks, who did they kill them for? Oh, just an Archduchess of Hell.
Oh, yeah.
This thing
well-
should never be spoken again, Trin.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Oh, Godric.
Ah.
Don't say any of these people's names. When we go to do this, just don't say anyone's name. Don't even say my name.
You got it.
Just say you over there.
Got it, Goblin.
I find myself agreeing with Ulthion.
What?
We shouldn't bargain at all.
Do we actually need the favor?
Yes.
For what?
For that thing we were talking about,
You don't think we just sit and argue for days about what to use that favor on? And...
No, we kind of already clarified it. We have some friends who need our help.
No offense, Miss Mina, but we could simply destroy the cult for the favor of the Inquisition.
Yeah, but the Inquisition can't help our friends.
And what's stopping us from doing both?
You don't think the Inquisition, the most powerful arm of divine power in all of Bravatus, could help our friends?
No,
Not the...
probably not.
Oh.
I don't understand why you would think that.
I see where his mind is going, but the Inquisition is nothing but paid thugs that work in the arm of the Church of Parathor. You'd have to go to one of their priests for access to that magic.
I feel like I'd rather trade with a priest of Parathor than a denizen of hell any day.
I'd
Well-
just say that Glacia is more trustworthy than an immortal.
in
They
in a
regularly
twisted way,
backstab
you
each
may be
other
correct.
and steal from one another and murder one another. That might happen in the hells, but it normally stays there. Again, it's not like I'm treating you for your soul for a favor.
Yeah, it's
She
just something
simply
on
wants the
table.
cult gone. That's it.
That's
Alright.
it. Sounds like you would be getting rid of the cult anyway.
What?
Sounds like you would want to get rid of the cult anyway.
Yes, I have no problem. Again, no hesitation whatsoever destroying any followers of Ernest. But perhaps we do it for the right reasons and not.
Yes, like getting our friends back from a very terrible place.
They're not my friends.
Okay, then leave.
No,
If they're our
I simply
friends.
mean, are we going to stop and make constant deals with devils to remove everyone from Avernus?
This
No,
is
just
like
the
the
person that-
first time.
Just the person
Second
who
time.
stayed in hell for us.
Right, but there's no possible way we could find someone else to do this.
We have our answer right here. Why beat around the bush?
Because making a deal with the devil is all in the details.
Sounds like we're not making a deal. Sounds like we're doing something, and then they're gonna give us something with no deal. That's what I heard.
That's a deal.
No.
You do this, I do that, that's a
Because
deal.
we don't have to do this. Even if we say we're not gonna do it and then go do it, it sounds like it's still we're doing the thing that is being asked to do. It's not that it doesn't sound like a deal.
Well, the terms are greatly understood, and I very much appreciate your time in coming to clarify those terms.
She just kind of like runs a finger up one of her horns that comes out. Individuals like yourselves must always be so difficult on these matters. Enemy of my enemy is my friend. Do you not see the advantage here of having Glacia on your side? The daughter of the very dragon queen you're attempting to stop from coming back and unleashing a full-scale dragon war on the entirety of the world?
I see the advantage, but trading one evil for another, I'd rather not treat at all.
Ah, one necessary evil for an unnecessary evil. Devils aren't going anywhere. As a matter of fact, it's only by the work of the archdevils that your pitiful material plane even exists. Let's not forget this. They play an exceptionally important role in the balance of the cosmic planes as they stand. You want to kill them yourselves, you might as well get a favor from a very, very powerful entity in return for it.
Yeah, that's kind of how I'm looking at it. Hey, maybe
Glacia
we get
was very
favors from
clear.
both sides. Maybe we go
A
all right.
favor, which is whatever you need it to be.
Yeah, maybe we go. Hey, Parathor, if we kill these cultists, will you give us a favor? He's like, you know what? If you're gonna kill the cultists, oh sorry, you know what? If you're going to kill the cultists, sure, I'll give you a favor of reaching into hell and doing some super awesome stuff, and then we'll get two favors. Two favors for the price of one mass murder.
I would just like to warn that never has any arrangement like this worked out for your group.
It kind of has.
Yes?
Yeah, because he's standing here, and he's standing here, and then,
And three of your friends aren't?
And that's why we're doing it.
yeah. And how much of that is a result of, our friend's mom being kind of a bitch? Don't tell Katarina I said that. But I think she would probably agree with me.
Yeah.
I've spoken my piece.
Alright. So, we're about to go to the cathedral. I don't suppose you would like to join us.
No, I don't think so.
Would you set on fire if you walked in there? I'm just kind of curious.
I'm immortal just like you.
Yeah, but, because of your ties and, and then if you did catch on fire, would it not burn so much? Because I guess there's a difference between, like, hellfire and radiant fire. Oh. Never mind.
No, I simply have other business that I must attend to, other ends that need to be met.
Gotcha. Grocery shopping, mail a letter.
Mail a letter, see how your friend is doing in the dungeons of Lilith, either way. Whatever you say.
Oh, that felt backhanded.
Oh, did it?
Every word that escapes a fiend's tongue is going to be a manipulation.
I resemble that remark.
You're supposed to.
I mean, she does resemble it.
All right, decision.
Decision.
We speak to the Inquisition first. No decision needs to be made right now.
Yeah, we go talk to the thugs that work for Parathor,
Yeah.
or the church. Now, Parathor once removed.
What?
At the very least, so we don't have conflict with them.
At the very least. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
All right.
Well, watch yourselves. Mephistopheles has spies everywhere in the city, as do most of the other archdevils. Be careful.
Well, now she knows something about his spies,
We
huh?
should try and
And then
bait the
she-
spy.
The spell dissipates and the sounds of the city come rushing in, and a few people like kind of stop as they're almost walked into you while you're in the street. It's like, oh, excuse me, and they just kind of go around you. And then Ismina speaks a command word into her ring, and a portal opens up, and she walks through it and disappears.
That's pretty sweet. But yes, to the cathedral.
Stench of trickery surrounds her.
Yeah, you kind of get used to it. Grows on you like a fungus.
Oh, you mean corruption?
No, I just mean like slow and musky.
So you're going to the Adventurers Guild,
Yep.
and everybody else is going to go to
The cathedral.
the cathedral.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh,
All right. Well, we're going to take
Magical Hack said we're their favorite AP group.
AP.
I'm guessing actual
Advanced. Placement?
Adventuring party.
play? Advanced placement group.
Trust
Yeah.
me, I went through every form of AP, especially because that's one of the
Social
terms
play.
we use at work. I'm like, oh no.
Anyway, I feel very honored about that. And we're doing
By the
great.
way, Magical Hack.
I'm confused.
Waiting to see her talk the talk post, man.
I am
I'm
too.
excited for that, yeah.
But yeah,
Why'd I go to the Discord when I was meaning to go to the chat?
Right, well, good hunting, Godric. Something big or swift?
Both?
Alright, sure, if you can.
We'll see.
So we'll start with the with you at the guild hall then.
Damn. You're like a grandma at the mall doing her calisthenics.
So the guild hall is a kind of a multi-story stone structure. You go up to the front. You go past a couple of statues of famous adventurers, up the steps and through the front doors. The interior, like the first big room, is just this long, like large hallway with like this huge vaulted ceiling, these hanging chandeliers. At the very end, you can see like another statue dedicated to a hero there. In the immediate, though, there are multiple tables filled with people who are sitting and eating and drinking food. The sounds of like laughter. You can see some stairs off to either side to go up to the next story. You hear the distinct clashing of like steel and people training inside the guild hall. Kind of walking further in, you can actually see like these spaces where people can spar and practice their techniques with one another. And finally, you come to kind of like I wouldn't necessarily say a reception area, but there's definitely a space where there's boards and bounties posted. And there's a bunch of people in here kind of just meandering about, reading them, picking up pamphlets, and talking about what jobs that they kind of want to take. Then an individual walks over to you, this human man, and he, so, what brings you in here today? I don't think I recognize you.
No, I'm new to the area as a whole, actually. Been traveling for a while with my adventuring group, and we stopped in Konewald for a bit, and I recently gave away my magical weapon, and I need a new one.
So are you here to peruse our auctions, or to sign up for the guild, or what brings you in?
See what you see at the auction. And let's
Yes.
see what you had.
All right. Very well. Just follow me then. We'll take you back and we can take a look at the ledgers and see what's available.
Perfect.
So he takes you past the training areas to a slightly quieter area filled with bookshelves and scrolls. And he goes over and he grabs this pretty large set of ledgers and kind of brings them over to this table and starts flipping through the first one. He's like, "What were we looking for then?"
I was thinking a great axe or a great sword, maybe something an elemental damage weapon of some kind, something to help with fighting magical creatures. I was thinking of flame tongue, if there is any.
Don't know. Let me see what we have available. We've closed out a lot of auctions over the last month, so a lot of stuff we were holding on to is no longer available. But let's see here.
I'm here for you, man.
I did like so much.
Did I grow another hand?
Well, weapons are usually in high demand, so I'm not seeing much here. Nothing that would match that particularly. There is an interesting entry here for something that was brought in some time ago. It's a private sale, so we don't have it on the premises. But it looks like they would like to offload it.
And what type of weapon is it?
It looks like it's a sword.
Ooh. And how much are they asking for it?
Oh, well, the asking price is about 12,000 gold.
Is that all?
Yes, it is. It's a sword. They found it in I guess some sort of burial field or some sort of burial site.
Very wrong.
They dug it up and brought it to us. It's actually based on the description of it, it's a very unassuming weapon overall. I believe they named it Requiem of Lament.
Interesting name. And then was the price negotiable?
It's an illusion.
Maybe we'd have to pass it back to the seller and see what you're offering.
I think you might be right. Let's see.
Well, it's a finely made weapon from what it says in here. Wielded by some adventurer. Oh yes, here it is. Apparently they used it to slay some sort of banshee that was haunting this town. And doing so resulted in the death of the adventurer at the same time.
Bye.
All right. Well then. Well, I only have. Check my notes, quick, because money is.
Maybe if you keep checking it, the number will get bigger.
I'm verifying.
Don't we all kind of do that when we all have those moments where we open the fridge
I feel like
but we keep going in and out because nothing looks good.
There's gotta be something new in there by now. It's
Yeah.
been hours.
Yeah, something has to look good to me at this
oh
moment.
my god. I should kill myself.
The edge isn't on the blade, it's on the wielder.
Or maybe you put up some of your stuff to sell.
That's kind of what I was gonna do next. I just wanted
Ow.
to see because I have it as a credit chip.
Again, this is technically an auction, so you can put in an offer, but you probably won't hear back from them today.
It's fine. Let's put an offer of 8,000 gold.
8,000? All right, I'll write it down, and we'll send a messenger to go and bring the offer to the seller.
Perfect.
All right. You should hear back in about a day or so.
Perfect. I will be staying at the Ivory Fox as well.
Hmm.
It's under Godric.
All right. We'll send someone to the Ivory Fox.
And is the sparring room in the other room? Can anyone partake?
Sure, why not?
Perfect. I've been listening to my friends talk and complain and do things that have just been boring.
Well, I'm glad I'm getting to know you, sir. But either
Absolutely.
way, the sparring rooms are open to everybody, potentials and individuals who are interested in taking training and learning from some of the master swordsmen on the premise.
Perfect. I'm gonna walk right over to the sparring room.
Okay. Is that what you want to do for the rest of the day until they get back to you?
Yeah, I'm gonna walk right in the room and say loudly, all right, who's getting their ass kicked or possibly kicking my ass? Very unlikely, but who's next?
All right.
Or who's
Everybody's kind of quiet at first. And people start lining up to fight you.
Oh, dude, that's what you need in an adventure guild, like One Punch Man, where everyone has a rank. Dope.
You could actually, in an adventurers guild like that, you could give them a rank system. Call it like a level system between 1 and 20.
Well, you could, but you can't have them be the same level. It's like, are you level 20? Are you the top level 20? Level 21? Or how many level 20s are there? Is there 150
Let's
level
see.
20s?
I'm gonna have you make me a
You need to be able to distinguish
check
yourself
here.
from all the other level 2.
Let me see. I need to
Is
find
all.
it real quick.
I power levels.
Roll me a d10.
Oh shit.
D10.
A D10? That's a
Mm-hmm.
3.
3.
Oh, the lucky number.
You win 167 gold through the day of sparring and betting. Doing fairly well. Not meeting anybody who can really deal with the kind of overwhelming size and power that you have.
Yeah.
All right. So that brings us to the temple.
If you do that for 72 more days, you can afford that sword.
You guys ain't got anything to do for 72 days, right?
That's like 3 hours in elf time.
Yeah. I mean, we can just pass it, right? We can just be yeah, so 72 days later, Patrick buys his sword. You guys are off to
Meditate
your
the entire
adventures.
time.
The front
Oh,
lines of the
short rest.
war are very different.
Yeah. Also much closer. Yeah. All right. Let me roll back up here. Okay.
5 plus 7 is
12. Wow. I appreciate your commitment to the character.
Oh, that's not commitment. That's just fact.
So, as you approach, what you've come to learn is called, to everybody here, called the Cathedral of Light. The Cathedral to Perthor is surrounded by this 15-foot high wall carved with the vestiges of the god of light and wisdom himself. This massive structure dedicated to Perthor is magnificent in its scope and its beauty, which is only really exceeded by the Imperial Palace in the center of the city. But every bit of limestone that makes up the various structures is clean and shines brightly in the sun. The cathedral proper itself rests atop a series of rising, like, tiered platforms, surround each one with like these beautiful gardens just surrounding on each tier to walk through. Below it, nearby on the same grounds, is the Grand Basilica, where the various cardinals, archpriests, the Grand Cleric of the Order, and the Inquisition meet in order to discuss the problems of the Empire and the Church itself. The Library of Wisdom is this ornate domed structure upon the grounds as well, nearby, where all of Perthor's holy teachings and relics are kept to be observed or learned from and studied by everybody who worships him. Then there's also a series of mausoleums, which are home to the resting place of the imperial family, other important people, archpriests, grand clerics and the such, all kind of walled off in itself within the boundaries and protected by Reichsguard knights, who you can see in their gleaming like plate armor standing guard. A series of decorative polished stone pathways connect all of these various buildings and areas together. Along every step is basically just on some sort of polished, beautiful marble or limestone that is clean and perfect in every way that it could be. Nothing here seems old, regardless of sort of the ancient status that this cathedral has had, as it's supposedly the very first one. The very first church of Parathor was supposedly built here and built up to what this is today. At the front of this, the steps that lead up to the cathedral is this, like, 15-foot solid gold statue of Parathor designed in his likeness that rests atop this beautiful marble plinth and has some of his teachings on these brass plaques just on all four sides. Some of his words of wisdom and things he supposedly said to the first humans who began worshiping him. So, making your way to the basilica, which the interior of is constructed with this beautiful black and white diamond pattern and checkered marble on the floors with these great huge skylights overhead coming down through like tinted glass. You see that the hallways are filled with the humble servants of Parathor, all the way from the highest ranking priests to those who are on pilgrimage from other like smaller churches and chapels throughout the countryside. Amongst them, you do spot the emblems and the red cloak of an inquisitor kind of just intermixed amongst them, having a conversation with some of the individuals who are there. But for the most part, nobody really seems to bat an eye at you coming here. So, what would you like to do?
Well, I suppose we just grab any red cloak and ask where their headquarters is located and start there.
I assume that's... Yes?
Yeah, it seems appropriate.
Right. Excuse me, you there. Inquisitor.
So the man turns around, and he looks like he's probably about maybe in his late 30s to early 40s. He has a nice set of scars, like very thin, that come down one side of his face. But aside from that, is actually a fairly handsome and well-kept individual with this nice fancy mustache and beard that comes down from his chin. He just walks right up to you and, yes, sir, what can I do for you?
Yes, we are adventurers from afar, and we may have dealings with the Inquisition. I was wondering if there was some sort of liaison or someone we could speak to. In what would maybe be your headquarters here on the seat of the Holy Sun, of course.
Mm-hmm. Well, you came to the right place. Here within our headquarters, and our leader here within the Grand Basilica.
Perfect.
Was this in regards to some sort of worrying concern you're bringing to us, or some sort of observation of heresy within the capital?
Yes.
Perhaps a rumor of it. But if it's all the same to you, perhaps we can be directed towards the right person.
Well, the head of the order isn't currently within Konewald. And either way, he wouldn't be taking any sort of meetings with you as individuals.
Right. Whoever is designated to take those meetings would be who we'd want to speak with.
Well, usually when you would take this to, like, the local guard or the town guard, they would then inform us in the church of dealings with dark magic or demons and such, but we don't normally speak to individuals like this here on the grounds. But I'd be willing to assist you and pass on the information if it's valid.
The church bell. Right, well, yes, perhaps somewhere to meet. Somewhere quieter than out here. Would that be proper? And your name was?
My name is Drydon Pilikar.
Drydon.
Drydon Pilikar. And it's a pleasure to meet you. Your names are?
I am Ulthian Amadir, War Master of Alatrari. This is Locke. And
Trin Twilight of the Lore Walkers.
All right. Well, sure. We can go over here to my quarters then, and you can tell me what it is that you have to say.
sure.
So he walks you through the through the hallways and through a set of reinforced doors guarded by individuals wearing Inquisitors' cloaks, but wearing much heavier armor than they normally wear.
Ooh.
And as you kind of go through this common room, this entry room, it breaks off to a bunch of different doors, and there's all these pillars that are just like right through the center, perfectly aligned. And you can hear people having conversations, whispered conversations, kind of just echoing off the chamber walls. Eventually, he leads you up a set of stairs into a room where he opens the door, and it's just like a private, almost like office. There's some scrolls and stuff piled up on the desk, but it's very small and very,
Like a little
very
reading
quaint.
room.
A very small reading room. There's what looks like a chair in there, and there's a desk, writing utensils, and it looks like a map up on the wall of the city itself. So you guys get a good overview of what the entirety of the capital looks like and how much it spans in the different districts and quarters that it encompasses. Then he kind of walks over, takes off his cloak, and unhooks it and throws it on a hanger, and then sits down at this desk and... All right, well, what kind of concerns did you have to report?
So I kind of put it and lean in with this call.
I think it depends on how we frame our comments. Really, loose end is a loose end itself. We find ourselves an adventuring group constantly dealing with cults, both devilish and draconic. And it was, well, I suppose we fell upon some information that perhaps there was one, a small one, operating here in Konewald. And we were wondering if we could either share information or perhaps just let you know that we're going to conduct an investigation so as not to step on any toes.
It's more of a hunt, really. There might be an incident.
What sort of incident are we talking about
So we
here?
plan to find this cult we're after and deal violence upon them. Just didn't want to end up at odds with the Inquisition. Felt it was necessary to introduce ourselves.
Konewald's no stranger to violence and also evil walking through the streets, I guess, but information-wise I don't believe I've heard anything that I'm aware of any cults in particular operating within the bounds of the city. We have a large variety of different crimes that are normally committed within the boundaries of the city. Creatures of the night, werewolves, individuals. Most we deal with is people practicing and learning from the wrong books, magic, black magic, whatever it may be. Rogue wizards or spies from outside of the city.
Well, specifically, it's a cult of Mephistopheles, and our time is fairly limited. So, even if you have nothing, and if we find nothing within the coming days, the Inquisition should know to keep an eye out for signs from this particular devil.
And so what are you offering us? You said you wanted to exchange information. I don't really have anything to give you in particular.
Then our
That's it.
information was given freely.
Well, maybe because we have to deal with so many cults on a regular basis, it's quite unfortunate. Maybe some of your expertise as far as like recognizing when something is cult related or occult-ish and how to deal with culty people. For example, I know that there are some disappearances recently. I should say we've heard rumor that there are some disappearances in the city. Possibly some sort of murderer. At least that's what the common folk are talking about. Maybe you have some pro tips.
Don't believe so. There are quite a few disappearances, people who die. There is some sort of beast or something that's wandering the streets. I don't think it has anything to do with any sort of cult, though. the absolute decrepit and emaciated state of the victims when they're found in these places in the city don't scream cult to me.
So when you go to address a cult, do you just wait for a tip and some civilian or citizen is just like, hey, there's a really weird club meeting down the street. You should go check it out, and then you just go down and you take care of them? Is that kind of how business runs? Or are there like practices? It's like, oh well, first we must establish their official cult, so we gather details or something. I don't know.
No, we normally send inquisitors there to find them, arrest them, and then we interrogate them vigorously until they tell us everything they know.
All right, so let us frame it this way. If we do uncover this cult and it gets violent and many of them or all of them die, what sort of legal proceedings would we need to be aware of to make sure that we weren't in any trouble?
I think we just did, didn't we?
That depends. We operate within the guidance of the Church of Parathor, and those priests, we don't operate within the guidance of the Emperor and his laws, per se.
Sure.
Whatever damage or trouble you may cause, if you kill innocent individuals, that would be between you and the Emperor and his representatives.
It really just sounds like our best method of approach is if we happen to encounter, I don't know, some sort of cult or something, we just tattle.
Reporting them or the whereabouts of those who are using dark magics or practicing forbidden magics within the boundaries of the Empire are always appreciated and usually rewarded from us. Either gold or title or whatever it is that Parathor deems appropriate.
If we were able to root out these cultists, perhaps a reward of a meeting with someone on high in the cathedral could be arranged?
Maybe, perhaps. It would have to be a substantial cult in order to warrant such gratitude from the church.
Well, just a private, short meeting really is all we would need. We had worked with
Possibly.
We've worked with the Inquisition before, down south.
And what Inquisitor did we work with?
Oh, what was his name? In Vanheim.
Her name? Who's that lady?
Oh, she was the first one we met, yes. Speaking of the Lord Inquisitor.
What was it?
Well, you're talking about Clara.
Yeah.
Right, that was the first Inquisitor, but the ones in Vanheim, which we actually worked for.
We worked for Inquisitors?
If you have a positive relationship with the Inquisition and the Church of Parathor, then something could be arranged. I just can't guarantee any sort of meetings with, let's say, the Grand Cleric, the head of the church, for example.
Right, of course.
Or with the Emperor, or possibly from the head of our order, the Grand Inquisitor himself. But aside from that, my power is exceptionally limited. Like I said, it would have to be some sort of absolutely infernal infestation or some sort of serious threat to the city. I myself have arrested and burnt at least 3 witches at the stake within the last month alone. These things happen regularly.
Ooh.
I guess what we're looking for is more of a dispensational sort of permission to act against any dark forces in the city specific to this cult.
Well, do you have any sort of standing writ or any sort of anything that you can point or hand me that gives you some sort of official status when it comes to the Inquisition?
Clara gave us more of a writ of passage, but that would show that we've worked with them before. On top of that, the Inquisitors were Elsend Khmer and Gershwin Isabel.
Oh, Gershwin. I know Gershwin. Yes, he's been out of the city for, I don't believe I've seen him for a few months now. He was sent on assignment by the Grand Inquisitor, and I haven't seen him since.
Yes.
But usually some sort of formalized relationship is normally written and given to those who do work for the church. Outside of that, any sort of other particular jobs we do, we normally run through the Adventurers Guild. But the Inquisition tends to handle all of its matters internally. So as to keep the information that we discover and investigate private from those who would be spies for malevolent individuals.
Right. Well, we do have the writ of passage. Show them that and start there.
Well, fine. Let's see here. No book. Leftovers. Writ of passage. Here.
So he takes it and reads over it. Well, this definitely was issued to you by an Inquisitor. It was temporary, though.
It was.
Oh, nothing else formalizing your relationship with Gershwin? What did you do for us while you were there in Vanheim?
Rooted out a cult.
Just any old cult?
Cult of, what's it? Cult of domination.
Oh,
I see.
Tower.
We
Yeah,
did
we went
also
into
do
old
that, yes. We
Vanheim.
destroyed a tower. It was a haunt for a malevolent entity as well.
yeah.
Tower of Fell Bats is no more.
Not familiar.
Very evil.
I've not made my way to the southern states in quite some time.
It's a more local threat. Destroyed.
Very evil. Powerful spellcaster. Super dead.
Alright. Well, it looks like you're looking for me from something that I don't have the ability to grant you.
Right.
That's fine.
That's why I did initially ask if there was someone else we could speak to.
This introduction should be enough. We got your name, yeah?
Yes.
That way, if we do come across the Inquisition in our hunt, we know we have a contact that can confirm we came to them first.
Then
Yep.
lastly, are there any studies or perhaps learnings you have on Mephistopheles?
Any information that we have on them that isn't considered sacred or private to the Inquisition is kept within the library here on the grounds.
Would we be granted access to that? Are they public?
Only the public portion, sure. The teachings of Parathor, the written histories and legacies of the kingdoms and such are all there.
Just any documentation on the depredations and evils of Mephistopheles so as to best protect and avoid?
I would try to find myself some sort of wizard who specializes in demonology. Perhaps the college.
Fair.
I assume these are all academic in the pursuit of your greater goal of eliminating this supposed threat that exists within the city.
Yes, of course. If we were to root them out and destroy them, we would need to know
What to look
what signs to look for exactly. Well,
To answer your question, Inquisitors don't need any sort of methodology, per se.
Very straightforward. I suppose.
Our charms are capable of recognizing dark magic when it's being cast.
Like what? Like cast up near you, kind of thing.
Within the boundaries of our person, yes.
and would it be possible to procure one of these charms?
Well,
I have my own ways.
Can we just borrow one? We'll give it back. A temporary loan.
We won't need it.
Either it wouldn't work or it would scar you horrendously.
Oh, well, I can't afford to have that.
They're blessed by the waters of the temple, by the Grand Cleric, washed in the light of Parathor, and given to only the holiest members of the Order for use.
It's not quite unlike the way my symbol works for the Silverine, actually.
Well, we appreciate your time and your consideration, and we'll be on our best behavior.
All right, thank you for your time. It was Dryden.
Right.
Thank you. All right.
All right. Well, if that finishes up our meeting, then I have other matters to attend to. I'm sure you can find your own way out.
Blessings of Paradol.
It's that way,
Blessings.
right?
It's that way.
Go to the door.
As we're walking back towards the main chamber, you said you had
Alright.
some kind of experiment.
Yes, I think it's accomplished.
We're gonna take another 5-minute break.
5-minute break.
Pub is having issues. All
Yep.
right.
Our studio mascot is
Freaking out.
giving us fits currently, and I don't know why.
Just being
So-
a diva.
Let me go check. See what's
Alright.
going on there.
All right. We'll be right back.
Mm-hmm.
You merely sat at the table.
Whoa.
I was born at the table.
Okay, we're back.
We can finally stop freeze framing.
Molded by the table.
That's every time you hit your knee or your leg on it, it molds you.
I haven't done it once. It's only Mike.
And Matt and Justin. I think Tara hasn't hit on the table.
Nope. She's coordinated.
If you
Like
count,
me.
if you
No,
count,
because Alex you bumped off screen.
Nope.
if you count injuries
Never.
during its construction, I probably put the most blood into this. thing.
Yeah, probably.
Has Andrew been wounded by the table?
Yes, he
Have
has.
I been wounded by the table?
Yeah. I know for at least once he's done it. It wasn't bad,
Sounds
mind
made
you.
up.
It was like a light.
Yeah, were you dreaming about it?
I'm trying to think if I can't even remember the last time I maybe even bumped.
It
the
was
table.
early in the construction.
Maybe. I've definitely never kicked the table. I've definitely never kicked the table. Any of the legs underneath, I've never kicked them or like.
That's why
hit
you roll
them.
well.
Yeah.
The table's like, I got you.
Yeah, I've never done that, and even sitting where Mike sits, I've never. And I spent a lot of time on that side of the
Oh,
table.
yeah,
I've
you
never
do.
kicked it.
Yeah,
And to
for
be
sure.
fair,
I think what it is I fidget with my legs.
I think most of our issues
Probably.
when we had
You did.
issues was when the table
It's
was
object
lower.
permanence.
Yeah, that's true.
Is what it is. You can't see your legs, therefore they no longer exist in your
No,
mind.
so like
and they flail everywhere.
So literally, like
So
even
they're just
now,
under there,
I'm like
like,
moving.
While in the
a lot.
tavern, you observe a great deal of patrons throughout that time kind of come in and out. A few people don't necessarily stand out to you, but they do catch your eye because one of them in particular, this kind of well-dressed aristocratic type, spends some time in there by herself near the fireplace, just kind of lounging and drinking like a coffee. She stood out to you just because she was dressed very well. She didn't really look like she belongs in the neighborhood, but at the same time, maybe she's a benefactor of one of the students or something, was waiting for them to arrive. Either way, she stands out to you, being this blonde, like green-haired, very attractive lady. Just spent some time there. She didn't talk to anybody or spend time hanging out with anybody. Just kept to herself. Aside from that, everybody else is most definitely just either a merchant from some other land, or you didn't take them to be the sort of type who would be here looking or scheming to get targets for sacrifice.
Type generally has a look. Shifty eyes.
Not if they're good.
But yeah,
Dude walks in. How do you feel about stone tables?
yeah, stone slabs and maybe cold steel. I don't know. Anyways,
Have you ever been so mad that you feel like you need to bleed the anger out?
yeah.
Of somebody else.
Yeah.
Don't you just wish you could make deals?
Don't you wish something would work out for you for once?
But let's see. Does anybody have anything else that they have to do in Konewald aside from go back to the Ivory Fox?
Mm-mm.
I'm looking for an artificer.
Looking for an artificer?
Or someone who could replace the dagger.
To replace the dagger?
With a wand.
That'd be dope.
Yeah, I gotta attune to that.
What?
Depending on the wand.
The hidden lesser one, you can just.
Or like a Spider-Man web thrower thing.
Hell yeah.
I was thinking like this.
It's a
Pocket
wand of
fireball.
web.
Yeah.
But I can just make fireballs.
Yeah, but it's free, and they already took your staff, and so you can just kind of.
So should I integrate my scroll tube into my arm?
Scroll launcher. Bing.
Yeah, it just launches it into my hand and ah. Silly.
So wandering through the
Silly.
wandering through the let's see, not the magic quarter, but the smithing quarter of the city.
Mm-hmm.
You eventually find an artificer named Himal Bibblesparks, who offers to repair the blade for the modest cost of about 75 gold pieces.
All right then.
Based on what you found and who you looked at, there's very few individuals who have any experience replacing any kind of complex mechanical parts inside of a warforge.
Just because you said a thing.
Doesn't make it so.
Didn't I throw that stuff away?
Yes, you did.
It takes you about 40 minutes or so. Ulthion and Tren just kind of patiently petter about within the market and checking out the stalls and seeing what's up to snuff when it comes to weapons and armaments and what's for sale and who's capable.
This Bravashan soldier figurine I bought. Garavelar will love that.
It really doesn't have to be anything sharp, just pointy. It's more of a stabbing implement.
He's got you, man. Dagger.
Alright, I'll come back out. Roll the sleeve down. Job's done.
It's not going to work next time either.
What makes you think it's for you?
No, he's saying it's not going to work because you went to this charlatan. How much money did you waste?
You are the actual charlatan.
No, I'm not.
You're pretending.
A couple of people in the nearby stall look over. They're like, "What?"
Are you still disguised?
No.
No. Damn.
I dropped my disguise before we went to the...
That's right, you did.
I figured it would look bad if I went in there disguise. Oh no, my disguise faded. Obviously I have something to hide. Hi, Inquisitor. No.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But I'm not hiding it from you.
Yeah. I'm not pretending. I'm
So-
talented.
Right, well, it seems like our only lead is going to be the school.
I suppose. For now. Not a lot of carousing can answer some of these questions. Hi, how do you feel about murder? You know? Can I help you?
We're all very good at it.
Probably
Well-
have to be reactionary.
Yeah, some of us more than others. Alright. Yeah. Hopefully Karen has made some progress. She's doing really good with her persona.
What do you think she was reading?
Well, I didn't catch her name. Her new name. Not a real name. But the name. Random student, or magical student number 25. It's not a big part, but there are no little actors.
So,
Or no, there's no little parts, just little actors. I don't know. I took a...
Well, wouldn't you be a little actor?
Well, I would be physically little, but I'm larger than life. So it all kind of balances out.
Ah.
I went to a thing once. They had a speaker. I learned a lot, I think. Between the boring parts. About acting. Can't you tell? Anyway. Back to the ivory.
The Ivory Fox.
The ivory fox.
She doesn't need to go anywhere, John.
Just being a brat.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's just being a brat tonight.
Being a brat.
Yep.
I'm gonna inspect that work later, by the way.
All right. For what? What are you looking for?
For defects in the craftsmanship.
This is, I believe this is called method. Right, where he takes on a persona and then begins to believe in the skills he fabricated.
Well, all skills are fabricated. It takes work. Just takes me less work. Because I'm talented.
Sorry, I maybe I used the wrong word in common. I meant the skills that he lied about.
Oh. Liar! Liar! Just wait till after I check his work. And then we'll see who the liar is.
Well, regardless, it won't be me.
Well, yeah, it wouldn't be. But, well, it would be. Call me a liar, a liar!
Are you accusing a lawmaster? One of the sworn of the Seldarine?
I think
Former
you're doing...
Lawmaster.
Yeah, don't use your position on me, big guy!
I poke you back.
Anyway, your arm, my room, later tonight. Let's go! As I turn and I start walking towards the theater, or toward the fox, the ivory fox.
That was you first.
It was not.
Yes, it was.
Anything, it was Andy first.
Oh, I didn't see that.
I wasn't looking at Andy. I was looking at you because I heard you hit first.
It was you first.
Maybe.
If only we could go back and look at the tapes or something.
I
that'd be
know,
perfect.
right? Be
No.
perfect.
Only
Timestamp
we
us.
could.
Flag on the play.
Yeah.
Only we could.
So, back at the Ivory Fox, you arrive and you see Katerina basically sitting in the corner. Still at the booth. She's had multiple cups of something served this or that and plates stacked there at the end of the table. But everything seems as though that you've left it, aside from the fact that the Ranger and the Cleric are gone, and so is the Dragonborn, been replaced by other individuals who've come and gone throughout the day. At this time of the day, around late afternoon, it's starting to get busier and business is picking up and more of the booths are filling out with just commoners off the streets. So.
Godric, you've returned empty-handed?
Kind of. I put a bidding down on one of the weapons. I'm waiting for the owner of it to agree to the purchasing price. I even got a bit of extra gold in the sparring pits in the adventure.
What kind of weapon?
A sword.
Oh, sure, but you didn't just bid on a normal sword, did you?
Supposedly an adventurer used it to slay a banshee. He died in the process, but still counts.
Haven't we all used our weapons to slay banshees fairly recently?
Yes, but that just proves that it's a magical weapon.
I see where you're going with that.
Because when we tried to hit them with regular weapons, it just...
Never come. Did any of us use normal weapons?
No. You threw an axe at it, I think.
I threw an axe at it, and they went... Woo.
Oh, right.
Because then I think thereafter I threw out the axes at the window.
Remember when he had that silly map of axes?
Can you be sure you weren't swindled?
I'd say the Adventurers Guild. I'm assuming they're not going to swindle me.
Right, but didn't you say this was a third party?
Yeah, they had the listing for it and everything. They're asking to see if he would take the bidding I gave, and we're going to sign that.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
depending
I
on the
simply
bidding.
mean,
Bidding?
if somebody were to take a sword and say, I killed a banshee with this, so now it's magical, who vets that?
They gave a name to it.
I will.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Fair.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Just making sure you're not being conned.
I completely understand where you're going.
Did take you weeks to notice the feather in the boot.
I just didn't care. It was extra cushion. It was kind of nice.
It did.
When they walk in, I'm gonna subtle spell message Trin. Gonna say, no developments yet. Disguise still working.
Nice. Nice.
Oh, you should come with me next time we go to the Adventuring Guild, though. They have a great spawning place. There were some actually pretty good warriors.
You're talking to Locke.
I'm looking at you.
I have no interest in sparring common adventurers.
There was two that actually put up a good fight.
But you beat them.
One of them I may have kind of just used my overbearing size and longer arms and held his head while he tried to hit me.
So you outsmarted him with your intelligence. I'd sooner fight an ape.
I think we call it bullying.
If the adventurer is capable of being bullied, I don't see how they'll present any challenge to me.
I'd actually like to see the two of you.
Godric and the ape?
No, Godric and you.
I do want to try to deal with your shield.
It serves no purpose to spar with you. For the sake of training, I don't see what we'd gain from that. If we have a discourse, an argument, or perhaps a need to emotionally open up to each other, then yes, I'd be willing to spar.
Interesting.
As I respond back to Katarina,
Excellent work. Very method. Remember, you are whoever you are. The person. Oh no, I'm running out of time.
it cuts off.
But I should be receiving word sometime tomorrow. Hopefully.
Exciting.
I'm gonna go carouse some of the other folks and talk about how talented of a tinkerer I am.
Gotcha.
Even
From the
rep-
Titans of Tinkering.
Even repaired that war forge
Thomas.
over there. I heard it. Liar.
Well, I hope get it out. Can't put a new engine in if the old engine's still there. I'm just saying.
All right, well,
But I try and establish myself there. As
we didn't learn much. It doesn't seem like we'll have any resistance from the Inquisition, at least.
Well, that is good. That means we're not going to run into problems like that.
Well,
We
as long
gave
as
ourselves
we're
2
careful.
days and we're nearly at the end of day 1.
Not, wasn't it 3 days?
But 2 nights, 2 or 3 days.
Well, we may be even able to curry some favor. I do think it's important to remember, probably more so that somebody tells Katarina, but dark magics will be detected and probably persecuted here.
And maybe the Inquisition isn't the only ones who will detect it. Could be the bait we need.
Interesting idea. I don't know what magics she'd be able to conjure that could do that, but it's worth a try.
Not a bad idea.
Let's sit at that table next to that scholar right there. Talk, hopefully just loud enough to where if anybody really wanted to overhear us from 4 or 5 feet away, they certainly could.
Well, not a bad idea. At that, we walk over to the table. I move chairs very loudly. I push one over to Ophion. I'm just saying, it's probably how you get caught, you know.
What? Get caught doing what?
Not doing dark shit.
I don't think he understood what I was doing.
I don't think so. It's
Trin,
fine.
could you explain to Godric quietly what this was all about?
So, as I was saying, you simply must let me look at your contraption.
He's
Hand it over.
He's
No,
too
I'm looking
committed.
at it now.
Oh, he's not Trin right now.
He's the most annoying thing I've ever seen.
Goo
Light-
bottom.
light-
Light goo.
Light goo?
Like blob thing.
It was
Oh,
light blob.
right. No, it was,
Was it light blob?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yes.
I thought it was light plop.
Plop. I mean, that's
Like
what
plop.
he does. Just I like the fact that we're not very quiet when we're sitting.
All right.
So my back basically to Katarina at this point. Yes, perhaps if we had a sorcerer who could channel some sort of dark magics safely, then maybe we would be able to lure them out. Very possible.
Maybe a naive student in their bedroom, trying spells they shouldn't.
Yes. Right.
I still wish I could
Let's
cast
find
magic.
one of them, then maybe we'd be able to root them out.
Oh yes, my parents often said that I was quite the prodigy. You know, it doesn't come automatically. A gnome has to put his nose in the books. It's a gnome saying,
If you've ever heard it before.
yeah, gnome.
Alright, so what do you want to do?
I'm gonna continue spreading my reputation into the evening.
I'm gonna pull Edgy Ranger in the corner. I think I'll grab a drink and sip on it, and then if I perceive anyone who seems a little off, nervous, anybody giving off some subtle but culty vibes, I'll just open up my divine sense to them and see if I sense the presence of any fiends
Gotcha.
or dark magic specifically.
Alright.
Evil.
Going to begin drinking.
Here we go! Woo!
Drinking has
And it
begun.
starts.
And it starts.
I
Yep.
have yes.
Katarina, what do you want to do? You very clearly understand the suggestion that's being spoken out loud.
Yeah. Well, I've been here for so long. I don't want to miss it if someone comes in now.
Right. Yeah,
Fair
I'm gonna go up to my room to cast some dark spells. Alright, as you walk in, you close the door to your room. In at the front of the Ivory Fox, a
Katarina is
stranger.
affected by FOMO.
Stranger.
An evil, culty stranger.
Exactly.
Jeez, young lady.
So about what time of day is it now?
Late afternoon now. It's pushing towards evening time. As you're all sitting here and been like hanging out and having these conversations, more and more people have come into the bar, and it looks like at this point, maybe 3 or 4 students from the college seem to have arrived. They all have very similar dressings and are all wearing like the same outfit, so it's easy enough to figure out who they are. They all go up to the bar and order drinks and then find the spot to sit.
All right, I am going to. I'll talk to them first, then I'll go try their idea.
Okay.
When I see them all kind of act excited, I'll gather up the books and papers and stuff that I was just fiddling with, essentially, and I'll go over and sit next to them. Are you all from the circle?
I think based on your accent, you must not be from Bravardus, right?
No, I'm new.
No? Oh, that makes sense. You refer to it as a circle, but you mean the college, right?
Right, that's the one.
Right. Yeah, the Empire doesn't have any circles, so you must be from what? The Shattered Coast, probably.
That's the one.
Yes.
We've got circles there. I forget that they're
Yes.
called different things here.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Not only are they called different things, but the Empire doesn't recognize the authority of the circles per se.
Right.
Yeah.
Still learning the differences.
Yeah. Sure, but yes, no, we're all students there.
Excellent. I wanted to become a student myself. I'm sort of starting to dabble in some magical things. Do you have any, tips for someone that's new that maybe wants to rise in the ranks quickly?
So one of them kind of look at the other. Well, if you don't have a benefactor willing to pay your bills there, you're gonna struggle. So I assume you wouldn't come all this way without any money.
I have what I was able to scrounge up before I left. Figured I could make a living in the big city, if I needed to.
Huh. Maybe. You're exceptionally talented, although it's expensive to go to the college. And tuition is based on person to person, on the panel of your peers who determine how much it's going to be.
Interesting. How do you find one of these benefactors?
You're going to have to go looking. You have to find somebody who's on the market for one. It's not something you can really get guidance on necessarily. I mean, most of us were picked up as young children who had a, I guess, proclivity for magic. Learning it. I come from an esteemed Bravashian family in Konewald, and we all do, more or less. And as opposed to being mandated by the state to come and practice and be put on a leash, we opt to pay for the college ourselves, or our family does.
Ah, interesting.
Which is why it makes sense that you would be maybe not have a benefactor or come from money to be a foreigner within the lands.
Right. Actually didn't realize that I was going to need one until I got here. It's much less financially taxing to go to one of the circles. So you all have been sort of in the college, or at least on track for the college for a while then?
Yes.
Interesting. See, I was sort of more gifted at magic than maybe I should have been for my level at the time. But I started asking some questions about magics that maybe they didn't want to teach me. How...
Get out of here!
As I chase some stray dog out of the front.
Careful, I'll get my tinkerer's tools and neuter you!
You're really committing to this tinkerer bit.
We don't work for the Titans of Tinkering for nothing!
Maybe just, I'm not saying you should give in, but maybe you should just give her a treat.
The problem is we did.
Are you all able to sort of
Some doggy edibles.
follow a line of study that you'd like, or are there certain paths that you have to take? Are there
Oh, God.
secret paths that only very special magic users can take?
Not that I've heard. Not that I'm aware. They all kind of just agree on that. No, you enter with a benefactor, they pay your way, and you learn. And then eventually somebody will mentor you and you'll get taught. Then you'll get to a level of expectations when it comes to your abilities, and then you'll be given state sponsorship to operate within the boundaries of the Empire as a magic user, as a mage. And then, if you want and you plan on staying within the boundaries of the Empire, you're required to participate in state service when times like now call for war.
Yeah?
I'm not sure what you want.
Just being... The mascot's being exceptionally demanding tonight, apparently. Hey. Either way. He's upset. No. Gaining entry is one thing, though. You gotta pay first for the first year's tuition. You gotta meet with someone. And normally having somebody who's worthwhile behind your name is what matters.
Are there any students in your class that have excelled more quickly than the others?
Well, not that we can think of. There are definitely those that seem to be lagging behind in the studies, that's for sure.
Cool. Are any of them here?
He kind of sits up from their booth and scans the room for a moment. Yes. Ativ. He seems to be kind of lagging behind the rest of us. He's been a little down on himself because of it. He's over there in the corner.
Ah.
Vocals and kind of messy brown hair. Him over there. He doesn't seem to be taking to the courses and the materials the same as the rest of us.
Is he missing the classes? Or
I wouldn't say that I've seen he's missing classes, no. But he's definitely kind of a loner, that's for sure. Others have offered to assist him, to help him. He doesn't come from a family of means. He's from like a poor, noble family. But
he was able to find a benefactor then.
Well, no, his family, again, it's a lower noble family, so they have money. They can pay his tuition. It's just very high because he doesn't seem to be especially gifted or astute at magic. I'm sure he's costing his family a fortune.
Well, maybe I'll chat with him just to learn sort of about the different perspectives. I'm sure you all are doing wonderfully.
If you say so.
Well, thank you so much for all of your information.
By the way, find somebody who you can impress with your magic.
I will try to do that. Thank you so much. Thank you for all your information. I hope to be in a class with you soon.
All right. Well, we'll see you there then.
All right. I'm gonna go sit by Ativ.
All right. So you turn around to go find him sitting in the corner, and there's already somebody else sitting there with him. The well-dressed, aristocratic, blonde lady that you saw come into the tavern earlier. And she's sitting there having a casual conversation with him. It looks like she brought him some drinks and some food, and they're talking, and he seems absolutely enamored and interested in everything that she's saying to him.
Alright, I'll start walking over there, but I want to subtle spell cast Detect Thoughts on her as I'm walking over there.
Okay.
How do you feel about marrying
Kind of get a gist of what they're talking about.
Gotcha. What level is Detect Thoughts?
It is second.
Second?
Mm-hmm.
So at the surface, she seems to be worried about him. She keeps dwelling on the idea that he's kind of down on his luck and he's sad and vulnerable, and there's a concern there for him and his well-being.
Alright, I'm not gonna try to dig deeper because I don't want to give myself away. But yeah.
After casting the spell, though, you see that she does kind of glance over her shoulder for momentarily. She doesn't look at you, but you can see her turn her head for just a moment.
All right, yeah, I will head over there. I'm so sorry to interrupt. And then I'll look at him.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard you go to the college here, and I was wondering if I could ask you some questions about it. I'm sorry, I'm new, and I have some magical ability, so I would love to be able to learn that.
So she kind of looks at you for a moment, raises a couple of eyebrows, and then her face turns to exceptionally pleasant in just the blink of an eye. He's a little overwhelmed. He's like, yeah, I go to the school or the college. Who told you? I mean, well, obviously I look like I go there. I'm wearing the robes of the students, but I mean, who sent you over here? Is this a practical joke?
No, not at all. I saw your robes, and I'm just very interested in them.
Like, I don't have enough money to fall for following you to the room for you just to get my trousers off and laugh at me.
I'm not here for
Like, if they
anything.
put you up to that, It's a tired old joke.
Nope, nothing like that. I didn't even get their names. I promise I'm no friends of theirs. Just genuine curiosity. I'm brand new in town.
Like, alright, I mean, I'm kind of talking to somebody at the moment, so would you mind waiting for me?
Oh.
I mean, you know, she kind of turns and looks at you, and you get a good look at her. She's got these beautiful green eyes and this very vibrant and kind of youthful look to her, despite the fact that she seems to have this almost inherent feeling of resting bitch face at the moment with you. She goes, yes, if you don't mind, my dear, if I'm having a private conversation with the young student.
Do you go to the college too? I'm gonna sit down next to a Tiv.
Sorry, no, I don't go to the college. I was recently directed to this young man, and the idea of assisting him by the college themselves.
I mean, if you're assisting people, I would love some help trying to get in there.
I mean, I don't necessarily know if I have the money to sponsor 2 different students at the college at the same time. One maybe, but I mean, maybe if you're... You said yourself you're already exceptionally talented. I'm sure there's other benefactors or individuals you could look into. I might be able to direct you to a few names of individuals who are looking for leverage in the college, as it were. I tend to help those who are a little more down on their luck or unable to facilitate the needed talents to make sure they stay afloat. Everybody needs wizards and mages, mage rights and such in society.
Yes. I'm sorry, if you wouldn't mind, would I just be able to sit in on your conversation? I don't know anything about how the benefactors work, and I would love to have some information before I go look for one myself.
Like I said, maybe we can discuss it later and I might be able to help you, but right now I really need to discuss with him what his future looks like.
Of course. Sorry for bothering you. Alright, I'll have to try again tomorrow.
What was your name?
Katie.
Katie...
Greencastle.
Greencastle.
Yes.
Make a performance check for me, Katie Greencastle.
Deception?
Yeah, deception.
Yes. I'm better
Deception.
at that.
Yeah, deception.
Ooh, that was almost bad, and then it turned good.
25.
25 is pretty solid.
Pretty solid.
That's a song.
That's a line
So she
from
looks
teeth.
at, so she gets really pleasant. She smells, well, Katie Greencastle
Mm-hmm.
from somewhere, I assume.
The Shattered Coast.
The Shattered Coast.
Yes.
How lovely. I'm normally here a few times a week to try to assist and find students who are in need. I can help pass on the information or direct you to someone who's looking for someone to mentor or sponsor for the college. I should be done here with a tea within the evening. I'd be more than happy to come back and talk to you tomorrow.
Alright, like early tomorrow, maybe?
Sure, earlier, that's fine. I assume that you'd want to be at the college first thing, going through the admission process in the morning. But, sure, in the morning.
So the only problem is I'm just not quite sure if I can pay for it yet. So
They
that
normally
meeting's
put a hold on
first.
funds for the first. You have to pay at the end of the semester
Very
to
good
continue
to know.
to continue participating.
Very good to know. Thank you very much. I would love to talk with you tomorrow morning, and then I can head to the college right after once I have my bearings a little bit. I'm a little bit nervous.
Sure. I love the poached eggs here that they serve in the morning. I'll be here in the morning for you then.
Perfect.
We'll
Thank
meet
you so
right
much.
here at this booth.
Excellent. Lovely to meet you. And
Yes.
you too, Atif. Very sorry for interrupting your meeting.
Mhm.
All right, then I will get up and I'm gonna head to my room and I'll just start.
Play with some dark magic.
Yeah,
Playing with some dark
do
magic.
some dark magic stuff and try to. I'll take all Theon's advice. Start doing stuff. See if anybody notices.
No, nothing fiendish.
Nothing fiendish.
Mhm.
I can also detect people who've been affected by Hallow and Unhallow.
I don't
Gotcha.
know what the fuck that means.
You detect none of that.
It means if they did
So
some kind of
you-
evil ritual, I would sense that they had done one recently.
You all but it's obvious to you guys that she's honed in on somebody and goes over there and talks to them. So you're all aware of this. As Katarina walks away from the table and heads back towards the back rooms, you can see the two individuals still having this conversation. And she's being very polite and almost bordering on the area of being like flirtatious. She'll reach over every once in a while and like touch his hand and then point to him and talk to him.
I'm gonna see if I can sort of subtly move over that direction and listen in on what they're talking about.
Make me a deception check.
Perception.
Subtle ability check.
Subtle ability check. 25.
Solid.
Nice.
Solid. Good rolls tonight. You very cleverly grab Trin by the arm and kind of pull this gnome with you real quick, and you start talking to him. Pull him over to the thing, and you're like, now listen here. Based on the conversation that we were having earlier, and you guys start going back and forth. But you're very careful to put the level of conversation at an area where you can hear the ambience and what's going on around you. This lady and the Teaver are none the wiser. So you listen for a few moments, and she's just talking about getting him into the school, how hard the classes can be, and how, if needs be, then private tutorship could be a way to go. It's not necessarily you can't get state sponsorship on behalf of them, but you can go and privately learn magic with other individuals who are willing to teach you. And they go back and forth for a few minutes about it, and they order some drinks, and then she brings up like that there's all sorts of different avenues for learning magic, and that there's definitely people or resources available in the city who would love to have a young mind to learn. She happens to know an alchemist who's looking for a student, and he brings up the fact, like, there's all sorts of financial issues back home with the war, and their lands and taxes just coming in super late, so they're not sure if he'll be able to pay the membership, and they just go on and on and on. But ultimately, you hear her, whose name, you pick up her name is Lady Amon, by the way. It would be Lady Sarsabar Amon. And she's outright, after a few moments, just straight says, like, if you would like an example of the sorts of things that are out there that might be able to assist you in learning magic, then we should just come with her to her manor, and he could show her her collection of tomes and scrolls, of which he gleefully and joyfully agrees to do. And then as they're standing up and they're like walking towards the door, he goes, you hear him actually just go, oh, but I said I was going to talk to that girl. What was her name? Katie something Castle? And she's like, don't worry about her. I'm meeting with her in the morning. We can come talk to her. And then they leave through the front door and out into the street, where she has a carriage arrive.
I grab you and just shove you that direction. I walk over to Godric, put my hand on him, and
I've been watching this whole thing. I've been drinking and just kind of have it, like, not
just in
loudly.
case, I neutralize you completely of any alcohol in your system with 5 points from my lay on hands.
You see,
Sorry.
guy mid-drink stop and just go, like that.
I think we're about to prevent a murder of some kind. Or at least a very improper way of dealing with students. I motion at Locke and point towards where Katarina would have gone.
Up to the room? Okay, yeah, go up there.
At that, I just, I kind of make sure to grab the axe and kind of sling it on my back and make sure everything's ready, and I nod at you.
We'll have
Oh,
to
I
track
do
Trin.
believe-
He's probably a little left.
I do believe I've had too much.
As I like stumble out the front and I pretend to puke.
Did I ever finish that spell? Or did I get interrupted?
Finishing your spell? No, you were able to finish the spell.
Was that before Katarina went up?
Yeah, it was a while before.
Alright, so was she within 30 feet?
Who, Katarina?
Great. So everyone, here, while he's doing all of this, suddenly hears, you can just speak to us now. In your heads.
I do love this. Very nice.
Damn it.
Oh, sorry. I need to practice my whisper voice in the head.
Damn it.
A little quieter. This is better.
Why the sudden urgency? What did you hear?
Well, it just strikes me as a bit odd if a...
So Trin's outside and he's like jumping up and down and waving at you guys because the carriage is beginning to pull away.
Yeah, I
As
point
they
at
get
Trin
into
and
it.
go.
What?
We'll
I
catch
turn.
up.
I turn and I scamper and I use my goblin swiftness to follow the garage.
Gotcha.
I'm assuming it's moving at like a reasonable pace, but they're not like racing through the streets. Like,
No, they're not racing, but it's a carriage. It can get going. It's being led by about 4 horses.
There's
So.
always a
is there
chance.
any room, like based on the style of carriage and whatnot, where I might be able to subtly, kind
Hitch
of
a
run
ride?
up on and like kind of like hitch a ride? Yeah.
Sure. Give me a stealth check using acrobatics.
Ooh.
So I can't see what he's doing, but
Stealth?
Trin,
But how do you do stealth check using acrobatics?
I'm just having him make a stealth check with.
The
Well, it would be
acrobatics
dex.
Dexterity
Right? Oh
through.
no, we're making an acrobatics check,
It'd be
but I'm just not
acrobatics, so
calling it
it's
a
based
stealth
off the
check.
acrobatics.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're both based off
I'm just
dex.
like, this seems really cool. How? Yeah, I was just
No.
trying to figure it out.
You're like, do I just?
Yeah, because I like it.
No,
It's
they're
like
both based off dex. I just want him to make a stealth check.
That
with
is
some other than
cock,
his
sir.
add
stealth
the
roll.
acrobatics modifier instead of
No,
straight
you picked it.
dexterity. That's all.
I got a 16.
Nice.
So, in an extraordinarily daring maneuver, you watch Trin run up. He catches like the back where this rack where luggage is and throws himself back up on it and just sits there and then just kind of waves as he starts riding away.
Yeah. I cast, or do I have that spell? I
Good question.
I cast minor illusion over myself to make myself look like a
Luggage.
box.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a package.
Like a package?
Yeah.
Telepathically, I'll just say she's luring this student under the pretenses of alternate ways of learning magic. I think this is as close a lead as we have. We may as well follow it.
Let's go.
Right. We'll wait for the carriage to get just out of sight, and then we'll follow. Trin
Trin.
can keep us updated on directions.
Trin, can you take something off of her?
No! I can't. I'm on the outside lot.
Is there a trunk on the carriage where she might keep some
Yes,
things?
I am the trunk. Oh, you mean this thing I'm on? So awkward to reach into.
Look if there's any like bags
Make
or
an investigation check
anything
for
I
me.
can investigate.
Mhm.
Because I are so smart. Let's see, 17. Ooh. That's, let's see, 19.
19? It doesn't look like she brought anything with her.
Looks like she's traveling light.
Katarina, could you scry on her? If we lost her for any reason.
You do remember that when you cast the spell, she did react to it.
If you scry on anyone, scry on the boy.
That's a good idea. When I cast detect thoughts on her earlier, it seemed like she noticed. Not that it was me, but just that it happened.
Godric, pick her up. You scry, we walk.
Is that how that works?
It can.
Nice. Yep, I walk in and I just grab Katarina and throw my shoulder and begin walking out.
You get some funny looks from some of the patrons on the outside and a couple of guards across the street. But
Godric's
ultimately,
like, "Lady, you okay?
everybody's just like,
Get your hands off me, you brute.
she doesn't seem like she's panicked or anything, so they're like, okay.
Godric's like, I got permission from the paladin. Everything is fine.
I'm gonna say telepathically, guys, it's gonna look really bad if I start scrying like I do in the streets.
That.
You drunk carry her. Put her
Oh.
in your arms, not on your shoulder. Yes. Like a child, you can hide her face. Something like that. We'll figure it out if we need to scry even. Trin can give us directions.
I think the directions will be fine. Unless she wants to scry. It's up to you.
I can walk until we decide on that one. But thank you. I appreciate your gusto.
Okay.
Then we
So you're on the back
follow.
of the carriage, and the rest of you are following on foot.
Yeah, making no need whatsoever to see the carriage. We're just, going the same direction.
Okay. All
Right.
right.
It's just telepathically telling us,
So-
okay, we turned left on this street, right on this
small
street.
landmark.
So
Drunk
you-
hobo on the left.
Recognize that you know who you're scrying on. You know his name. So put the negative. We'll just do a -2 on that one. Oh, which he fails.
Oh, you are scrying?
I assume that she was gonna when she said she was gonna.
I mean, if I scry them, I could see what they're talking about. In the
No, I
camera.
think I just missed the part where you said you were going through. That's all. I was
Oh.
like, oh, we are? Okay. Yeah.
I don't know how to do it stealthily on the way there.
He's carrying you. It's
Yeah, cloak off. Cloak is thrown over you, and now.
Yeah, just do it like
All
a cell
right.
phone under a blanket.
That's
you know,
100%. My cloak is
Yeah.
more than
You
Pretty
covered.
got the
much.
crystal ball and he's like,
Alright.
Oh,
Sounds good. I'll
walk
do
by
it.
an
Yes.
Inquisition guy and he's like, the fuck?
If only we had a trench coat she could walk along with.
Alright, yeah.
Only
That
wizards
works
stop
perfectly.
Tom, huh, Katarina? The first thing that pops up, she quickly swipes it away
It's
because
like, oh,
Godric's
this-
looking.
Viruses, am I right? That's a big problem with these older models.
So the scry goes off, and you end up inside the carriage.
Mhm.
While inside, you hear her talking to him about just the different places she's been, places that she's visited. She seems like over the course of her life, she's been a lot of different places. She's been to Nadir, she's been to the Shattered Coast, she's spent time in Lior, she's spent time in Kriot. She's been a lot of different places. And they're just sharing these, this kind of personal and private information. He talks to her about his father and his mother and the expectations they have on him because getting a state-sponsored wizard would do great things for the family. And one of the things that you kind of figure out about it is that having a wizard with state sponsorship basically lends your family a certain amount of leverage when it comes to like the court and then being involved in state affairs and being able to travel the empire and just basically be accepted almost everywhere. Even though everybody assumes that you're there to like work your family's means towards your own, it doesn't matter because you're a state-sponsored wizard and you're there to do right by. You represent the empire in matters where you're been called or paid to do. And this lasts basically the entirety of the journey. You don't hear anything strangely incriminating or anything that would give you any sort of insights into what she's doing or why she's taking him there, other than she's going to show him a personal collection of rare scrolls and magic tomes to assist him with his learnings at the college. But that goes on until eventually the carriage comes to a halt outside of this this nice little manor on the corner of a fairly empty intersection in one of the quarters of the cities. So Trin,
Oh no.
as it comes to a halt, and you hear the driver kind of step down and come over to the door to open it to let them out, what are you doing?
I'm gonna stealthily hop down while maintaining my image. So if worst comes to worst, I pretend like I'm a box that falls on the floor.
The footman's like, I think that box just ran away.
It had legs, I swear.
Yeah, but I'm gonna try.
Does it
and-
get a big
Prop hunt.
exclamation?
Solid
Yeah.
snake.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, but basically I'm gonna hop down. I'm gonna use the the garage as kind of cover, and then I'm gonna try to navigate around it while they unload, and then
Trent?
use it as cover till it drives away, and then sneak around.
Okay.
Sneaky snake.
Better not be missing anybody at the tavern.
Right? Wild goose chase.
Oh.
Mass sacrifice at the tavern. Just
Exactly.
We get back, everybody's dead.
Yeah.
Blood
Everybody's
everywhere.
just gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to throw your
This
players
is the
off.
Inquisition's problem now. Bye.
Yeah, you want to throw your players off. Just throw a hot chick in front of them.
Mhm.
That preys on the aspirations. of
Make
those
me a stealth check then. I'm gonna make a couple opposed ones over here.
a couple.
Oh, not great. Anyways,
Well, better use
there's 3 different people there, so yeah, I'm making a
a
few.
couple. Well, I better use my what?
Well, lucky
You can roll first.
I am a roll first, cause it's luck.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That looks like a single digit from here.
Yeah, but you are pretty good at things, so I mean, you
Yeah,
probably
so
will.
you just want standard stealth.
Yeah, it's gonna be a stealth check.
I'm better.
Better's good.
Yeah,
Better's
so
good. We like better.
23.
You like better.
I don't like single digits. We like better.
Yeah, 23.
What's that like?
23 is better.
Threes.
Solid. You hop down, scamper
Looks
around the
good.
opposite side of the cart, and use the horses to kind of hide yourself from them, which they kind of just ignore you. Then you cross the street and hide behind a tree, like on the sidewalk across from her manor. And nobody's the wiser that you're even there.
Thanks, Ron.
About 10 minutes later, you see the rest of them kind of traipsing up the side of the road.
Mm-hmm. And they go. The people, they go into the manor. Not them, but the other them.
So the manor is a fairly large stone 3-story home at the corner of this intersection here in the College Quarter. Aside from 2 other people, like all the way on the opposite side of her manor, kind of conversing there, there's nobody else out in the streets currently. And you don't see any lights or candles or anything on in any of the other like little row houses or townhomes that are here in this section of this quarter. It seems to be just hers, which has a single light on the inside. But it has this garden out front and a gated wall on the front of the perimeter. And this like single darkened like large window that overlooks from the 3rd floor, like the pathway to the front door. And you guys catch a glimpse of her and Atib like going in. And then the riot driver comes back out, grabs the carriage, and drives it off.
So then, as they approach, I kind of pop out ever so slightly from behind the tree, and I motion towards the building. Right here. Oh
You
yeah,
can speak to us.
Yeah, I was trying to be stealthy and cool.
Well, no one can hear your thoughts except us, so.
All of
Yeah,
us.
it's still not as cool saying, "Hey guys, over there."
Hmm.
It's I'm stepping out of the shadows and gesturing like a cool person would.
I liked it.
Thank you.
Right. Do we learn anything new?
I didn't learn anything especially incriminating while they were in the carriage. I could scry on him again, though, while they're inside.
Use the annoying psychic power.
Yes.
But we're standing next to each other.
I'm going in.
Yeah, at
But
this
nobody
point.
can overhear us. Voices carry in quiet streets.
Let's start trying to climb the wall.
Trin, there's no way for you to change the shape of someone else.
No.
I
You
feel
see
like,
Trent start scampering up the wall.
I feel like you might just be refusing to do it because it's your trick or something, but alright.
No.
You know,
You give up on trying to get up the smooth stone wall and then just climb up the tree and then use the branch to go over and then drop down.
if you're worried about detection, you can always scry on Trin, see what he sees.
I'm gonna
You still have a
sneak
connection on...
through the garden
Yeah.
up to the side.
It only lasts
I'm gonna
10
try and
minutes,
look
so
for
probably not.
Okay.
a
Interesting
cracked
question.
window or a
Just
way
a
to enter.
Okay. Make me a perception check.
I would see from like a third person point of view.
Like I imagine it as like like an over-the-shoulder third-person camera sort of effect, like in the game.
Dude, you could totally stride him and like shoulder peek corners so it's easier for him to move around. Yeah.
Good.
Shoulder peek.
Corner peek.
Get right up against the wall. Nope, a little left, a little left. There you go. Always clear.
Yeah. Straight shoulder peeking. What is this? This is great.
Between the mind and that, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I got a 10 on perception.
There seems to be a window that's partially ajar on the second floor, but nothing on the ground floor that you can see. But you do see them inside.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click my heels together and use my magical climbing boots up to get to the center.
Yay!
Gotcha.
Can you detect any
So
sinister
you're-
here?
You guys see him.
What?
Trin suddenly just goes leap, 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 leap on these invisible stairs and then goes through this window. He kind of like pulls it open and just looks around, gives you guys a thumbs up, and just goes inside.
Why didn't I use these for the wall?
If it's dark magic, it'll be far more likely I detect it on a person than on a location. If I can detect it, so can the Inquisition. So, seeing an evil house in the middle of the city probably is not likely. I hope that came off as rude.
I could try to scry again while they're in there.
Wait for Trin to give word. It's a good idea.
Gotcha. So from the second story, you see a few rooms, a study, a room where it looks like she's been doing some painting. The paintings look rather innocuous overall. There's nothing
Not
particular,
evil.
but yeah, not evil.
Evil paintings.
Look at these evil paintings of my deals with devils. Anyway,
Yeah, it goes from like
The reds
Bits
are
of
made
lo-
with child
Yeah.
blood.
Yeah.
So vibrant. It's the only way to get this kind of red.
to like less severe, like the eyes follow you and
Yeah.
stuff.
You get to the staircase and you can hear them downstairs and they're talking. She offers him something to drink, and from what you can tell, they're just having a conversation about magic. And more like the basics of magic. She's trying to get, it sounds like she's trying to get like a fundamental understanding of what his level of like learning and proficiency is.
Like
They talk
aptitude,
about his aptitude for magic. They hammer out some equations and some theorems about magic and the histories of it and the circles.
Boring.
Yeah,
Boring.
it's extremely boring. And you guys just hear Trin over and over go, boring, so boring.
It's not as bad as hearing Godric somehow burp telepathically.
No,
How do you even do that?
I hope she is evil so she can kill me.
But yeah, after about an hour, they go to the library and kind of more of the same, bringing down books. It sounds like you go down there to like follow them.
Yeah, get closer.
To get closer.
Follow
And
the
they just
conversation.
pull out several books and they're talking about it. And she's reading him passages and he's really excited. And she's like, hey, again, I know this alchemist. Know he's looking for a student, someone to teach, and it'd be a great place for you to work, like, and learn a little bit more outside of just going to college and then going to the Ivory Fox to drink and basically just be depressed and sad. And she just tells them there are other paths towards proficiency in magic, and there are so many other unexplored avenues that you could go down versus just staying at the college if it's not right for him. And then his excitement continues to grow, and she tells him, she's like, you know, I think that you would really benefit from what I can tell you and who I can introduce you to. But she kind of just pauses for a minute. She goes, I don't know. I don't think I can really. I probably shouldn't tell you this or show it to you, but I feel like I can trust you.
Oh, she's got
So-
a book line and sinker.
Oh, it's getting good.
She's like, so
She wants to
can I show you something that you have to swear you can't tell anybody else about?
Oh,
And
it's a
he's
secret.
like, I promise. And you kind of peek in the room, and she's kind of She's walked over him and she kind of has her hands on his shoulders and she's kind of talking to him very
Yeah,
quietly.
that'd get it
Oh,
done.
yeah, baby.
And then he's like, yeah, I promise. So she
Whatever
goes
you
over,
say.
yeah. So she goes over to the bookshelf and she pulls one of the books and the bookshelf opens and swings. And then she just follow me. Trust me. You'll want to see this.
Oh, don't trust
She
her.
drugged the
Don't
hell
go
out
into the
of him, too.
basement. She's
in
gonna
the
murder you.
basement?
They're
So he
going
starts
into the
following
basement.
her.
I think it's time to scry.
I think it's time to scry.
I'm gonna scry.
What
on
you all see
a
from the
tea
outside is about 8 or 9 other individuals approach the manor from the street, and they go straight to the gate and up to the front door. Until next Friday.
beginning.